You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
You put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
Keep me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. It's all a hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money, money.
Hold out here for a pill. Really tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
What up, Fantasy Football Hustler back at you. We got another episode of Elevated Sports Talk and Elevated Sports Trash Talk this morning. Let's get it going. Who's up in the chat? We got Emil in the house. What up? Stranger, shout out to the Houday Nation. What up? Jamie, hell yeah. Letting Crispy know he's about to auto pick. I let him know. Man, I'm excited. We got some new glass. Check this out. All right. Here's my previous JBD, the one that I'm normally using on every show. Now, we have a new edition. Here we go. It's a 1 of 1, a little bit bigger. I like how it's got the skinny top, so I'm not going to need to do any extra like chugging necessarily. Crazy colors. Got these all over the back. We're gonna see what it's all about. All right, cool. Jamie said he just made his pick. Cool. I messaged him, told him don't be auto picking, making us look bad over here. So we're gonna get ready to. We're gonna try out this new bong. I got some weed from the dispensary. Let's try it out. And dang it. I put this in the jar and I forgot what kind it was. Let me go see. It's by Hustler's Ambition is the brand. Dang it. How do I see what I bought? Damn it. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go to the... Let's see. Where the hell is it? All right, here we go. All right, let's see. So it's Hustler's Ambition, and it is Apple Tarts. 27% THC, sativa dominant hybrid. Jamie said, didn't know the Patriots' new rookie made bongs. Hey, man, Jerome Baker from the previously of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, come on, man. He's been in the NFL for a while making bongs. Emil said thoughts on Jacoby Brissett Jacoby Brisket, but Brissett. Should I look to buy him in Dynasty? Only if you're getting him super cheap. I mean, he could get some play, but you know, how many games? How many games is that going to be? And it's funny. I've been making. If you guys don't watch the YouTube shorts that I post, make sure that you do. There's one. It's so funny. I posted. I said, remember when LeBron guaranteed 8 championships? Not 1, not 2, not 3. And I posted that. And someone's like, what's your 40 time, bro? And I said 390. What's yours? People are hella goofy. What? Jamie said he's president of the Jacoby Brissett fan club and he wouldn't buy him. All right. Let's find a weed song to smoke to here. All right, here we go. Giants, I'll keep an eye out for it. I got a deal on some pre-rolls, 4 for 10. So I bought 20 of them. Working on some creamsicle cross derby.
That's going to keep people talking about it in the blogs. That's going to keep people in social media talking about what's going on. Like every day it's going to be either good or bad.
Somebody said, just make LeBron the coach. Yeah. Byron Scott said that. Yeah. Inglewood. Just make LeBron the coach. Grab the clipboard on timeouts. It's doable.
Right? What does everybody think about that? Just make LeBron the coach. I mean, I'm sure that they've already been like thinking that for like a while, you know, like just a whole bunch of people. And Johnny, so here goes the trailer link. And I'll send it to you as well. But yeah, this is I mean, anybody who's in the glass blowing space, like they'll love to watch this. I mean, it's some real dope artists, and there's going to be more. Like the whole goal is make this like, you know, a normal type of thing, like once a year, like type of competition, and keep bringing in different people. So yeah, if we can get some buzz around this, I mean, man, Jerome Baker and Tommy Chong, you know, like putting this on, like, you know, and it was in Vegas, you know, you get to come to Vegas. I don't know how many days it was. I'm pretty sure they did back-to-back film multiple episodes in like the same day, or at least as much as they could, because, you know, when you're doing when you're fucking making the glass, you know, you got to throw it in in the oven and all that shit, and you know, so everything just takes time. What up, Zeb? Zeb in the house. Zeb said LeBron gonna retire. Bronny gonna be cut in the year. Man, like we'll see if he actually makes it. You know, it was it's funny. I found I totally there's just so many players who I just do not know in this year's draft. It's just, I mean, very blah type of year for the draft, and just like college players in general. And I don't really know why, but it is. And so I saw this picture, and it was very ironic. And here we go. So it's Bronny and Boogie Ellis. In the first second, I didn't know who that was. Boogie Ellis actually went to the same high school that I did, Mission Bay High School, and he was so dominant in high school. Like, I mean, he was so dominant that someone who does not pay attention to high school sports, like myself, saw and heard about him. But he's like a senior, you know, so I guess that's why he doesn't have potential, right? Even though he's like a way better scorer than Bronny. They're both guards, so very, very similar. Boogie Ellis, he was actually like the best player like on his team in high school. He didn't go to some like super fancy prep school, you know, like Bronny did, but super funny though. And I know that there's other guys too. I know that there was other better scorers as well who were like undrafted free agents. And yeah, but Bronny. And you want to hear what Pat McAfee has to say on the subject? Because Pat McAfee sounds like a guy who's trying to make sure that that he doesn't burn any bridges with LeBron.
He got some people very pissed off about the nepotism and power that LeBron James has. Giannis's brother plays in the NBA right now. I don't even know if he knows what a bucket is. If anybody in this particular NBA would deserve some sort of favor, I think it would be LeBron James, who's basically carried the league on his back since he's 17 years old in this entire thing, alongside others, obviously. So people being like, if his name wasn't Bronny James, do you think this would happen? No. It's LeBron James's kid. He's been training with his uncles who have been NBA players for his entire life. He's seen how somebody takes care of their body to be an NBA player for his entire life. So obviously, if your dad is going to be considered one of the greatest players of all time and you play the same damn sport, I assume you're going to be given a little bit more favor over other kids. Yeah. That sucks, but it's reality. It happens in every business.
I mean, at least Pat McAfee's honest. I mean, he's definitely being a tool. And look at Tino, came in. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, Tino. Fucking hilarious. Crispy, what up? He said, what up, losers? Screw you, Crispy. Fuck you, Crispy. Taking you down this year. Taking you down to Chinatown, my friend. As Zeb said, was good. He said, so many good ball players didn't get drafted just to see Bronny get drafted to the Lake Show. What a joke. Yeah. And you live in, I know you live in Orange County and around that area, around the LA area as well. What's the word? Like amongst, I don't even know. Like I was gonna say amongst the general public, but I know what it is amongst the general public. What's it like against, like, you know, your circle of friends? Are they with you that that they think that the Bronny draft pick was a joke? Tina said y'all acting like second rounders don't make the league all the time. They do. But there's a bunch who I'm sure don't deserve it. But when you're just being talked about too much, man, like it's not his fault. But he's being talked about that much that we have to talk about the most popular things that are happening on social media. Have to. And you love the Lakers, right, Tino? Daniel Barry, what up? Zeb said Lakers fans out here laughing. Yeah, most of my homies think it's a joke for sure. And dude was a throwaway pick for LeBron. And well, yeah, I mean, see, like, as long as we could be honest, like, I mean, there's so many people who are just like saying how deserving he was of the pick and all that. Like, if we're honest about what's going on, like, I don't really have too much beef. It's all the people who said how he deserves it and making the excuses of why he deserves it. Shout out to Boogie Ellis going to the Sacramento Kings. And Tina said, I know. How dare you make me defend the Lakers? Zeb said to keep LeBron and sell tickets. He said, why not do the dad-son combo? People are going to buy merch and tickets. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, Lakers are going to be more hyped this year than... Fuck, I'm even trying to think, like, was the last time the Lakers had, like, super crazy... I mean, it even seems like, I mean, because it was COVID. So it just seems like even during that COVID year when they won, like, they weren't super hyped. I really feel like you got to go back to the Pau Gasol, Metapiece, Kobe like ones when they hit the back-to-back. Like, I mean, I went to the game 6 and game 7 when they played the Celtics. And one of the games I was trolling, I bought a Celtics starter jersey. I don't even know, somehow, like, I'd through someone that I'd met a long time ago. His roommate was randomly it's like a random, like, he sells jerseys and shit, and he had a Celtics starter jacket. I was like, bro, I'm literally going to the game next week. Like, can I buy that jacket? And bought the jacket just so I could wear it to game 6. It was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. Everywhere I went, just getting booed. It was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. I was definitely playing the heel role when I went there. Every Laker game that I've ever gone to, I've tried to play the heel role, except game 7. Game 7, I went in my OJ jersey, and I got nothing but love from the LA people when I went in my OJ Simpson USC jersey. There are some people who were like, wrong sport, bro. I was like, sorry, I don't have a Lakers jersey, asshole. But yeah, that was and you want to talk about crazy, like when I mean, the riot police, you know, just like in game 6, like, lucky they won in game 6. Lakers might have rioted, and I saw the turning point when the Lakers actually completely flipped the momentum, like, all the way, like, back on their side. And it was this big 3 by Derek Fisher. And when you walked out of the arena, there was just like riot police, like, one every 3 feet from each other. Like, motherfuckers were out there hella deep. I didn't see anybody try to start shit. Like, man, just all these cops out there with automatic weapons. And there's nothing going on yet. Like, literally just a bunch of people going to be in the same place at the same time, and a bunch hella drunk, I'm sure. Nothing happened when I was there. I did hear a lot of gunshots the next game 7, when they went to game 7 and they won. I mean, there was nothing but gunshots that you heard. It was crazy. Tino's, I don't hear anybody saying that. He said most shows are happy for LeBron getting his dream of playing with the Sun. It's all anything the media. We still suck. Check this out. I know you missed. I just played this video from Paul Pierce. It's because most people aren't being honest. That's what it is.
Like a script to me. I really don't even think this is really about a championship no more. This is about putting on a good show. Think about this. They hired J.J. Redick, draft Bronny. I mean, does this sound like something that's like we're trying to move in a direction to win a championship, or does it sound like we're trying to put on a show? I'm just keeping it 100. It's like they're more interested on entertainment, because if you do that, that's gonna sell tickets. That's gonna sell out. That's gonna keep people talking about it in the blogs. That's gonna keep people in social media talking about what's going on. Like every day it's gonna be either good or bad.
Somebody said, just make LeBron the coach. Byron Scott said that, Inglewood. Just make LeBron the coach. Grab the clipboard on timeouts. It's doable.
If LeBron was the coach, because I mean, that's one thing that Bill Russell did that nobody will give him credit for, because he was going up against a bunch of scrubs, supposedly back in the day. But yeah, Tino, there's not a lot of people who are being honest. Like, that's what's it. I mean, there's a lot of people who there's real PC, and they got to say whatever they can to make sure they don't piss anybody off. I'm sure I pissed a handful of people off. I mean, I said just in some of the comments on some of the videos that I posted. There's some hateful comments. It's funny. It's hilarious. And Tina said, honest about what? And Tina said, damn, if they made LeBron the coach, that would be dope. Why don't they do it? Like, that's like the next big step, like, for him. I don't even think LeBron can manage people's egos, though. Like, I mean, a good coach, you really got to manage people's egos. It's obvious what it is, LeBron marking another dream off the list. Yeah. And, like, LeBron crying and saying that he would entertain trades and entertain retirement. I mean, that's like the first thing. And then Rich Paul coming out and saying if any team drafts Bronny, he's going to Australia. So, like, first you have those two things where literally there's like crying and complaining from both guys, but then everybody's still acting like it's this magical moment. Like, if they wouldn't have said anything and just like let the chips fall where they may, maybe it would be a magical moment. I mean, either way, it's just not. Like, there was no way to make this like seem like it was deserving, because he wasn't deserving to get drafted in the NBA. He could have been picked up as unrestricted as an undrafted free agent, and then he gets his choice of where to go. I mean, what is he, literally 5 picks away from being an undrafted free agent? They didn't have to draft him. They could have signed him, and they still would have got the same. Same type of recognition for father and son, being the first father-son duo to play on the same team at the same time in the NBA. But LeBron's got to cry. Make sure that the narratives get to stay. Johnny said it's going to be cute when they retire together. And you know he's not going to the G League. Like, you know he's not going to the G League. Why would he? LeBron's calling the shots. My son ain't going to the G League. Like, he's going to be starting. I mean, I know their team's not that good. I mean, this is going to show how good the team is based on how many minutes Bronny actually plays as a rookie. Because if you're not really that good at scoring and, like, you're super undersized, like, I mean, what is he gonna actually do? What is he gonna actually do that's gonna, like, impress us? Ah! Tina said, watch Bronny make the Hall of Fame. Man, bro, what are you smoking over there? Tina will say it's only it's only son LeBron James. I mean, let's see what he does. If he averages 4 points for his career, never wins a championship, never does anything, and still makes the Hall of Fame, it would be because of his name. Let's see what he actually does. But it's funny that you're even saying that Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, is Hall of Fame in the cards for a lot of people? Yeah. But guys like Sean Kemp aren't even in the Hall of Fame right now. And Sean Kemp was like such a dominant small forward. Didn't win a championship, though, because he had to go against Jordan. So I guess he's not a Hall of Fame. And Tina said, damn, Huss is going to hate if he's actually good. Show me he's good. Show me he's good. That's what I'm saying. Like, prove it to me. Why would you act like I never change my mind or my narratives like when things happen. Things can change from week to week. Let's go see him play in some regular season games. Show me that he belongs, because he didn't belong in college. Couldn't even average 5 points a game. I mean, come on. That's all I'm saying. You act like I never change my mind on things. Yeah. Zeb said Brian needs to beef up and he could be a solid role player off the bench. Then okay. And he said Karl Malone's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Karl Malone's a fucking pedophile, so he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. That sick bastard. But yeah. Tino said he's buff already. He just can't play. I mean, he's a skinny little twig, man. He's a skinny little twig. I mean, what? He's buff for like us, like normal people? Come on, man. Tina says dad's LeBron James. His dad is the softest big man of all time. His dad invented the flop in the NBA. So like, I don't know. Being strong, being strong, like, I mean, all that's been is like a waste for LeBron. He's so big and strong, but he's scared to drive to the bucket. Johnny said Karl Malone's definitely in the Hall of Fame. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he definitely should be. Yeah, Karl Malone was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2010. Yeah, he's definitely in the Hall of Fame. John Stockton's in there. He went in the year prior to him. Yeah, like 15 years ago. La Flop. Jake said the hate is real with Bronny. Hey, it's just being real. If I say that he averaged less than 5 points a game and that's like an actual fact, that's not hating on him. Like, I'm just actually being honest with what I'm saying, and most people aren't, because I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be on the Lakers. Like, yeah, Lakers should have picked him up as an undrafted free agent. He didn't deserve to be drafted. Tina said, how many buff basketball players you know? Definitely not KD, right? Skinny little twig. I don't know. I'm just gonna stay. You can let me know who are the beefcakes, Tino. You can let me know about that. And Jake said, no, it's the other stuff. What other stuff? That he didn't even prove that he deserved to be in college, like didn't even prove in college that he deserved to be in the NBA. That part. Said he made it. We didn't applaud the guy. I mean, why does he deserve to get applauded and nobody else who was drafted? I mean, there was 54 people that were drafted above him. How many of those guys did you cheer for? Because see, that's the problem. Bronny's the only one who deserves to be cheered for, not everybody else who made it. Like, just like his dad, just bogarting the show. Shout out to Chris, said Vlade Divac, best player ever. Man, I got a Vlade Divac Sacramento Kings throwback. So dope. But Tina said, I feel like nobody is saying he's going to be a star. What are you being honest about? Well, I guess you have to be on Facebook with me, Tino. Like, that's where you have to be, is on Facebook, because all of my information is coming from different things that I've put on, like the ESPN page, the CBS Sports page, like literally just my comment, my comment trolling, and then the hundreds of comments that come after that. Go look at my Facebook post. that I made saying that LeBron ruined the NBA. Bronny shouldn't have even been drafted. And Tino said, Facebook isn't real, bruh. Yeah, but most of these people who were commenting, I'd say a big portion that I'm actually like putting weight into what they're saying. And Tina said, it's because you're baiting people. Well, if I'm baiting people, like they don't have to say that he actually deserved it. They don't have to say, oh, watch how good he is in the NBA. Watch how he's going to start 15 minutes a game right from the gate. Watch how he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Like, I've heard so much outlandish shit. And when are people actually going to be real? Because every analyst out there is not. Every analyst out there is not real. If you work for ESPN and you say the wrong shit, especially about their poster boy, LeBron James, you can legit be fired. Look at the way that Pat McAfee even talked about it. He was super PC about the way that he said this. He calls Caitlyn a white bitch, but he's hella PC when it comes to the way that he's talking about LeBron and Bronny. Everything is PC, man. The media is not real. The media is not real. Zeb said, I can't wait to see LeBron pass Bronny the ball. And then he's yelling at him. And Tina said, I've not heard any analyst say that he's a star. In fact, most said that he wouldn't be drafted. Yeah. I get it. I get it. But which analysts are we talking about? Because I keep saying, like everything that I'm doing is because of the LeBron fans and how much they're on this side of the spectrum with everything, because there is no like right in the middle on like the crazy LeBron fans. And like the media, yeah, they may not be saying he's a star, but you're saying most said that he wouldn't be drafted. He got drafted now. How many people are coming out saying that he shouldn't have been drafted or that it's not to win or anything like that? Like the only one who I've really seen is Paul Pierce, like really being honest and saying that it's not, they made this move not to win and it was to put on a show. Like how many people have been honest like that? Because not too many of the media people have. They're all being PC about it. I'll put the Pat McAfee clip back on again. And who is this? Hold on, let me see. C-Dag said, here goes the hate. Let's hear it. Oh, is that Chris? Is that Chris coming in on Instagram? Glad you found it. He said, who in the media was rooting for Bronny? Still waiting. I just said it. It's not about who was rooting for Bronny. It's about people not being honest that he even shouldn't have been drafted.
Bronny got drafted. Got some people very pissed off about the nepotism and power that LeBron James has. Giannis's brother plays in the NBA right now. I don't even know if he knows what a bucket is. If anybody in this particular NBA would deserve some sort of favor, I think it would be LeBron James, who's basically carried the league on his back since he's 17 years old in this entire thing, alongside others, obviously. So people being like, if his name wasn't Bronny James, do you think this would happen? No. It's LeBron James's kid. He's been training with his uncles who have been NBA players for his entire life. He's seen how somebody takes care of their body to be an NBA player for his entire life. So obviously, if your dad is going to be considered one of the greatest players of all time and you play the same damn sport, I assume you're going to be given a little bit more favor over other kids. Yeah. That sucks, but it's reality. Happens in every business.
Even the way that he says it, so PC about it. He didn't say that he shouldn't have been drafted. He actually said that he should be drafted. So, yeah, everyone's just being so PC about the way that they're answering. And there's only a few people who are, and it's really, like I said, the only one I've seen is Paul Pierce. I mean, Kendrick Perkins, he was honest about what he said about Bronny. And then all of a sudden, he's not getting as many shows as he was. He's not showing up on First Take as often as he was. So it's like you legit can't even say, these guys can't even say, like, they can't keep it real. They can't keep it real. Everything is super PC. And Chris said, how many coaches and head coaches got nepotism mad about the 55th pick? No, Austin Rivers is someone who I've been talking shit about for a while. I mean, guys like Austin Rivers, I mean, a king of nepotism. How the fuck does that fucking bum stay in the NBA as long as he did? And then he has the balls to come out and say how there's so many players in the NBA that could go just play football right now, but there's not one football player like in the world who could come and play NBA basketball right now. Like, Austin Rivers is a fucking clown. He's a fucking clown. But yeah, it's guys like him who are making everything worse as well. So yes, Chris, you just got to be around more, bro, or you're here my takes more often, because I talk shit about him. Head coaches, bro, like, yeah, like JJ Redick, like, yeah, head coaches are fucking jokes. A lot of these head coaches are. I mean, what do you want? Like, I'm talking about Bronny. Bring up everything, and I'll give my opinions on everything that you have to say. And Tina said, keep it real about what? Not a star. It's obvious. He's a second rounder. Yeah, because what second rounder do they ever come out and say is going to be a star? It's literally just what I said about the way that they're being PC, saying that he deserved to get drafted. Where Pat McAfee literally said because his dad's LeBron James, he deserved to get drafted. And Chris said, but you don't care. I don't care that much about the NBA. Like, if it's popular news, I'll be talking about it. But the NBA has been on a decline for a little while as far as viewership goes, because like the league is just trash, bro. Like, you know it. Like, the league used to be way better than what it is now. And Chris said it's only because it's LeBron. Yeah, would we be talking about the 55th draft pick right now if it wasn't LeBron's son? No, we wouldn't. Would anybody in the media be making 50 posts a day about the 55th pick being drafted? No. C-Dog said, how about the nepotism in the NFL? Oh, yeah, like a guy like Antoine Winfield who gets drafted hella high and then just comes in and is like an all-pro, like, you know, just multiple years. Like, yeah, man, I mean, what do you mean? I talk about everything. Just make sure you're around the show and keep that same energy when it's not about LeBron. Keep the same energy in the chat when it's not about LeBron. And Tina said, what exactly are you mad about? I'm not mad. I'm just saying that Bronny didn't deserve to be drafted. He could have been picked up by the Lakers as an undrafted free agent. There were guys who got picked up as undrafted free agents who like tripled his college stats, but because their last name isn't James. Like, I know, I mean, everyone's so PC now. I guess I'm just like, I'm old enough to remember when we used to make fun of spoiled rich kids who got things that they didn't deserve. Like, I don't know, like maybe you guys like have never made fun of spoiled rich kids who like got things that they didn't deserve. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're not cut from the same cloth, I guess. 29 other teams skipped over those amazing players. Yeah, they did. And Tina said it's a rich kid thing. Yeah. Someone getting something that they don't deserve, for sure. Okay, there we go. And I thought I was pretty obvious about that, but maybe not, because we had a whole day. And yeah. And what, you're really rooting for everyone gets a trophy? What the fuck are you talking about? You're rooting for a spoiled rich kid who didn't deserve to get a trophy, got a trophy. So I don't get it. That argument doesn't make sense. That argument doesn't make sense. Zeb say you're not getting the Bronny James Jr. number 9 jersey. No. I see Dog said if you're rich, you don't deserve things. If you're rich and you get something that you don't deserve, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm not saying rich people don't deserve things. He didn't earn it. He didn't earn it. He didn't earn it. He could have went back to college, earned it, came in next year. LeBron would still be there, but we know LeBron's probably going to retire now after this year, because now, I mean, this was the last thing, like Tino said. He's just checking things off of his to-do list, you know. Check this off, you know, got it. Probably said it 20 years ago or whatever, like when he was born. I'm make sure that I play in the NBA long enough to get my son here. And hey, he did it. Good for him. Good for him. Bronny didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. He could have been picked up as an undrafted free agent, and like he would have got to pick wherever he went anyways, and then he would have went there, and it still would have been the same thing. Still would have been the same thing. Matt said, that's it. I'm changing my name to Matty James. Handle like Van Axel. Get out of here. And C-Dog said, and Chris said, what makes you think you earned official? I don't know, but scoring 5 points, not even can't even average 5 points. You're not even close to the best player on your team. You've kind of never been the best player on your team. Like, I would say that doesn't warrant being drafted. It warrants going overseas if you don't want to play in college anymore. He should have just done that. And then that he could prove that he could play with grown men. But now he's going to come. He's going to be under his dad's wing. And yeah, it's just, it's hella goofy. It's hella goofy. Chris, imagine if MJ would have played with his 2 sons in Washington. Yeah. I mean, MJ's kids weren't good enough, but I wonder if did either of them play college? Because I wonder if either of them played college and averaged more than 5 points a game. But MJ probably be talking shit about his kid only averaging 5 points a game. LeBron, it's like, oh man, son, you're so good. We're gonna get you drafted into the NBA. And Chris said he has to prove it no matter what. LeBron can't play for him. Yeah. Remember when LeBron was being a bum the first year with Miami, and D Wade was his daddy, going to all the press conferences and shit, talking for him? Like, yeah, that's what's going to be happening for Bronny. And Chris said 5 points a game. He didn't even average 5 points a game. It was less. And Chris said this man loves bad dads. What do you mean this man loves bad dads? Chris, I hope that you give your kid every single high-paying job that you could give him that he doesn't deserve or doesn't earn. Because that builds like really strong men, is giving them a whole bunch of things that they don't deserve when it comes to the professional world. That builds strong men. I'm pretty sure that was Donald Trump given a whole bunch of things that he didn't deserve by his daddy. And I know a lot of people made fun of him for that. Tino said the hate on LeBron's funny. He said, what'd LeBron do to you, Huss? I've always said it's because of the fans. It's because of the fans who crowned him the GOAT before he even won a championship. This has been going on with me for years. LeBron James was crowned the GOAT before he was king of the NBA, and the GOAT before he ever won a championship. And I've been clowning him ever since. And my take has never changed. It's never changed. And Tina said, and he became president of the United States. Yeah, he did. I mean, hey, nepotism's real. Bakes, what up? This episode, what a circus. The 2 old men was Trump and Biden in the celebrity death match. Man, what the fuck, dude? Like Trump is fucking ridiculous. And Chris said you don't see him work. Guess what? Practice is not the official work. Practice is putting in work for the work. And guess what? His stats show the work. That's what it is. That's how sports work. Your stats equals your work on the court when it's go time. His work was whack as fuck. I'm sorry that you're saying his work was good. You have low standards for players coming into the NBA. And if it wasn't LeBron James's son, you would not give 2 fucks about the 55th pick who averages less than 5 points a game, who can't really score at all. Like, you would not give a fuck about him. That's the point. That's the point. Oh man, what up, Phil? What's that? Jamie said, look at the picture I just commented on your recent LeBron post. Let's see. We go to Facebook. Oh, let me refresh. Oh, check out the new bong, guys. Check out the new Jerome Baker bong. Whew, excited. Uh-oh, even Zach commented on this. Let's see. Right? Right? Yeah, let me see. And Chris, my son wants to be an engineer in college. My company has an engineering department. He's been working there the past week. Engineering experience. I should tell him, give him the exact same spot. Wait, no. You brought your son into a company as an intern, or he's coming in as a low level something. There's only 15 players that play on an NBA team. Is there 15 people who work in your company, Chris? Is there only 15 people who work in your company and your son is one of those 15? Probably not. Probably not. Jasmine Jordan's worth $2.2 billion. Jamie said it's ridiculous. Poor people are talking about the 55th pick. No one's talking about the first pick. Exactly. That's the whole point, is that now they're the most hyped team. And Chris said 5 engineers. Okay. 5 engineers. So is your son getting paid as a normal engineer? He's getting paid as much as those 5 people, or at least in the same pay scale. He's getting somewhere in the lowest pay scale that those 5 engineers would come in and work. He's on that pay scale getting full-time job. And he said, you don't care about the 55th. Why would anybody care about the 55th? The only reason you care about it is because it's related to LeBron James. That's it. That's my point. Nobody else, nobody would care. Nobody would care. Who were the last 10 55th pick players? If you could tell me one of them without looking on Google, I'll be impressed. But now we know, most famous 55th pick in history. Same as Bronny through care. What does that mean? Yeah, you wouldn't care if it wasn't Bronny. That's it. Yeah. I wouldn't care. You know, but you know why I talk about it? Because I talk about the most popular things that are going on social media and in the sports world. You're welcome for giving you entertainment. And Bake said same shit with Jerry Rice's kid. Yeah, like, come on. I was the one who was saying Jerry Rice. Yeah, Chrissy, where the fuck were you at when I was talking shit about Jerry Rice's son, saying that he shouldn't be drafted, and talking shit about him getting drafted in the 7th round? Where the fuck were you when I was talking about that? Saying that his stats were so fucking mediocre. Another fucking USC graduate. Where the fuck were you when I was talking shit about Jerry Rice's son? Way more than I was talking shit about LeBron James's son. You know, said I feel like most people are not talking about this. I guess it's not on social media, bro. Like, I mean, that's really what I gotta say. Like, I don't give a fuck about people who are like talking on like cable channels like about this. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm like all over like social media. If it's on social media and it's popular there, I'm gonna be talking about it. Nobody watches cable anymore except Tino. Crispy said Larry Bird. Man, people hate on Larry Bird. And Dynasty Life Stevie, where you at? Come on the show. Come on the show. You already know how you can get on. Come get on the show and pop in. Come defend the Bronny pick. Add some more spice to this. I take Larry Bird over LeBron James all day. He's got way more heart. And Tino said, I don't watch cable. I don't work all day. So what do you consume? What kind of content do you consume besides this? And why you jump to assumptions? Because that's what I'm saying. What type of content do you consume? Because me talking about this is me talking from things that I've seen on Facebook, things I've seen on Instagram, and things that I've seen on TikTok. And he said, I watch YouTube like now. Well, yeah. And so what do you mean? I've been talking about this for 2 days straight. You know, there's other people talking about this. It's not just me. Like, it's definitely not just me talking about this. And Zeb said, nobody talking about last year's 55th pick, Isaiah Wong from Miami. He's on the Pacers. Well, there we go. I don't know if Zeb Googled it or whatever, but there we go. Isaiah Wong. Did anybody give 2 fucks about Jeremy Lin's cousin, Isaiah Wong? Probably not. Probably not. Tim said, you're the only one talking about hating on it. No, I showed you Paul Pierce as at least one other podcast that brought that up in a negative light besides me. Okay, Paul Pierce. I'd say he knows a thing or two about basketball. All right. We're just going to smoke more because at the end of the day, all I'm doing is smoking weed and talking sports with you guys, having fun, trolling LeBron James and his son because he did not deserve to be drafted. He didn't. LeBron's been a bum ever since he guaranteed 8 championships for the Miami Heat. Yeah, but nobody else is saying it though. See, everybody knows, but nobody's saying that. That's the point. Everybody else, even like Pat McAfee, is saying that he deserved to get drafted because he's LeBron James' son. Hey, Matt and Bakes, check this out. Got a new Jerome Baker bong. And yeah, let me show the Operation Pipe Dreamers. So there's a bunch of new people on here now. Check this out. I'm gonna be helping them with the release of this this glass blowing reality series. Check this out. Let's smoke.
This is Tommy Chong. We have invited 12 of the most legendary glass blowers in the world to take part in a dope competition. Operation Pipe Dreamers.
I swear I had this idea after watching Blown in Glass. Hell yeah. This one's going to be good. So the very first episode is going to be dropping July 9th. Chris said, McAfee, go Sue, you're putting words in his mouth. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He said, this is what happens in business. He said, he said that shit. Tino said there's a smoke shop in San Jose that blows custom glass pieces that cost like 5 G's. Hell yeah. I mean, you see those ones? I mean, shit, those are, 5, 10, 20. Like, man, just the custom glass is like so insane. Tino said, I wonder if Pat goes to Netflix. Hell no, man. He wants to be connected to ESPN because his whole thing is sports. Because it's not about money. He took less money to go to ESPN versus his FanDuel deal. Yeah, like literally just that one sponsorship was paying him more than ESPN was paying him. But I mean, that's what it is. That's why he's even PC when he's talking about this Bronny situation. Tino said facts. It's a troll job. He said hating on the fact that the dude got his son a job. I mean, do you think I hate on every dad that gets their son a job? It's different because it's the NBA. I hope that people are like that. I hope you guys like really understand that. It's because it's the NBA. You know how many other leagues there are besides the NBA, the best of the best, the creme de la creme? He was not the creme de la creme. Like, he was not one of the best 62 players in college basketball last year. Like, not even close, or 64. However many fucking draft picks they have. Doesn't even matter. And he said, if you're fortunate enough to help people around you, anybody, yeah, life's not fair. I mean, I hope that everybody tells their kids that life's not fair when it comes to sports, because how many dads out there are like letting their kids playing sports, knowing that if you don't have, and like, if you're not able to put them in a position, they're probably going to fail. Like, how's that like feel? Like, because of this, like, I mean, that's legit. Like, all that is just showing that this is like what sports has turned into. It's not about how good you are. And yeah, it's not, I mean, nothing's ever fair, but sports is supposed to be about like literally your talent, like proving that you deserve whatever spot you are taking on whatever sports team. You know, when you get past a certain age, obviously we're not talking about like kids in t-ball, but yeah, like Tino, did you not play sports in high school? Did you never make fun of anybody who didn't deserve to be on a team, but maybe their dad donated some money? Because I remember being the one making fun of those kids. Crispy said, man, fuck the NBA. He said, I think eventually goes to Netflix when his deal's up. Why would he? The reason why he's with ESPN is to make sure that he gets access to everybody who's on ESPN, and to not have to jump through hoops to be able to get interviews with people who work for ESPN. And Tino said, I played football, baseball, and box power. He said, I know a little bit about sports. Okay, and on any of these football teams, baseball teams, any sporting team around you, was there ever kids on those teams? We're talking like high school and above, you know, ages. Was there ever any kids on those teams who sucked and didn't deserve to be there, but were only there because of their parents. Maybe they were donating something, because I've seen that. I mean, I've seen kids get starting spots on high school teams because their parents donated donated audio equipment to totally, fund the new stadium and shit like that. So, like, you're saying you've never seen that happen, and if you saw that happen, you didn't make fun of those people? I'm actually going to coach my first baseball team next summer for PAL baseball. Nice, man. Props to you. Props to you. Yeah, I used to coach Little League in the juniors division, and it was really only 1 year. And then I realized how much politics comes into play even when coaching 13 and 14-year-old baseball. And so I just didn't go back after that. 7 and under. Are you going to start people based on their dad giving you kickbacks, Tino? Just kidding. 7 and under. I mean, that's T-ball. And Chris said, why didn't he go first then? Why is he being talked about more than the number 1 overall pick, Chris? That's the point. Why is he being talked about more than the number 1 overall pick? He said, I've been on teams where you had to be a dog and make the team. Okay, but what did I say, Chris? I said, have you ever been around people who were on a team not because they were good, because they probably sucked, but because their parents or something donated stuff? And if not, if the answer is no, then it does not have anything to do with what I'm saying. Because yeah, baseball is different than basketball. Basketball, you should have to be a dog. That's my fucking point. That is my fucking point. You're literally making my point, and you're not even fucking understanding. And yeah, you said I've seen both. Okay, now those kids who sucked on those teams and didn't deserve to be there, did you make fun of those kids? It's a yes or no question. Yes, I made fun of them, or no, I didn't. Because like I said, I made fun of those kids who did not deserve to be on those teams. This has been a characteristic that has been in my genes forever. Said every sport you have to be a dog. No, you don't. You don't. Players are soft as ever now. Players are soft as ever now. Get out of here. LeBron, you got to be a dog to be out there flopping. Yeah, dogs don't flop, bro. Like, dogs don't flop. Give me one dog that is out there like flopping. LeBron, I guess, like LeBron. And Tino said, I don't check birth certificates. He said they have free leagues in our city like Eastridge that kids don't make the PAL team. I mean, if it's because there's like too many kids, but yeah, those free leagues, those PAL leagues, I remember playing on one of those like city rec leagues or whatever, the city rec leagues back in the day. Like, yeah, I'm not talking about like little league. I said like high schools and up, like when you actually when you have to actually try out and people are getting cut. Like little league baseball, I'm not talking about that. Little league baseball, if you pay, you play. Like that's just it. Tina said Joker's a dog. Is Russ a dog? Who? Russ Westbrook? And Crispy said the problem is everyone gets a trophy. Is Chris Paul a dog? I mean, man, Chris Paul sucks. Always said that. That's why he can't fucking get over no hump, man. Chris Paul's a bum. He's a bum. He can't play defense. If you're not a two-way player, you're not a dog. Like if you're not a two-way player, and steals and random steals aren't the only thing that fucking count either for being a dog on defense. Tino said most cities of the Bay Area you can't have for-profit league. I think it's different where you guys live. I mean, I don't know if Little League baseball, because I mean that's what I'm talking about. I'm sure it's different. Like I know it's different in California and Southern California, like those I don't know. I feel like that's not correct. No, that's definitely not correct, because I know someone who's in the Bay Area right now, a former Major League Baseball player who has a travel with girls softball, and I think it ranges from like, I don't know, like 8 to 16 or something, and they have like all different types of teams and shit. And I know they're fucking for profit. I mean, they hire like crazy ass coaches out of college and stuff, so I know that they're for profit. And yeah, Chris said Chris Paul got defensive player of the year. He played for a lot. He played okay. I guess when I think about like, I'm not thinking about players like their peak, like 1 year, like 1 year that he got defensive player of the year. Like, and what did he even do to like get defensive player of the year? Let's go see. Let's go see what his stats were. Okay. All right. Maybe because of the steals, he was up there. I know he's no Jordan or Kobe or Gary Payton. But yeah, I guess it's just easier to make it as a guard. Maybe that's the argument that someone should always be making about Jordan, Kobe, and Gary Payton. That's probably easier to make first team all defense. Matt said, I must be high. Just realized that is an Oakland A's hat. You thought that what? You thought this was an Oakland A's hat? What the hell? Not even close to an Oakland A's hat. And Tino said travel ball is different, the pay for tournaments. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess like when I think of you saying I don't even know what a league for profit would be then, because that's the only thing that I'm thinking of is like the travel baseball leagues. Other than that, I mean, it's Little League baseball, and I don't even know, is Little League baseball a nonprofit? I mean, it seems like they charge fucking enough to make a profit. I don't know, but because yeah, like when Noble played in Little League, it was like $300. Like, what the fuck are we like paying for it being $300? Travel ball team I played for with speed. Okay. All right. So what are you talking about then? What's a for-profit kids league then that's not travel ball? Because that's all I was thinking of. So actually I like Gilroy had the team, but I didn't make it. So I played on the Winnetka Speed. He said so it's like San Fran, they have the Junior Giants. It's a private baseball league. Tina said you get to keep all the equipment. Huss, did they play tournaments? No tournaments. Keep equipment. What equipment? They gave a jersey and socks like that and a hat. That's the equipment that they gave. It's like no, and the coaching was shit, man. Like, I mean, it was like it's like 6 through 9-year-olds. Like, I mean, the span, like Noble was 6, like when he was on that team last year, and like the coaching sucked. Like, man, they were not like the kids like did not progress. Like the best kids like stayed the best, but even them, they were like the same that they were when they started. Like none of the kids progressed. And it was only like a 10-game season because it was during the fall. Only a 10-game season. So I mean, it's not as long as like the spring season, but even the spring season, I think it's only like 15, 16 games. So like not even that much. And Tino said, what'd you pay for? Exactly. Like, I have no idea. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like $300. Like I would like, I have no fucking idea what that $300 went for. I really don't. The coaching sucked. I mean, the tournament that they had was the playoffs, like at the end, and it's between, I don't know. I think there was either 4 or 5 teams that were in his division. I think 4 or 5. And Chris said Chris Paul being known as a dog was literally being the best point guard ever, just missing that chip. Oh, he's missing that chip when it counts, when crunch time happened. Like, I don't know. I guess I've seen a lot of people being honest about Chris Paul and hearing about some of the bitch situations that like he was involved in, and hearing how a lot of these players, they were being PC at the time, but now they're going on podcasts and they get to be honest and like just calling him out for being a clown. So I don't know. Maybe it's that's coming into play. Maybe that's clouding my judgment on how much of a dog he was, because hearing all these stories about him being a bitch is kind of funny. Like when whenever he what team did he go play after the Clippers? I don't even know what it was, but fuck. I can't remember what team he played after the Clippers, but then he comes back to LA and like fans are like booing him and shit. And gets into a little scuffle on the court. And then he tries to go into the Clippers locker room like after the game. And then he brings like his whole team like over there with him. Like he's a fucking clown. He's a fucking clown. And Tina said, I would pay if possible. It might be hard to get on a team, but that would have access to big tournaments. Yeah, and seeing like if you're paying $300 for Little League Baseball, I mean, Noble would not be on he wouldn't be going on no travel ball team or anything like yet. Like I wouldn't even like that. Just seems stupid for kids this young to be on like travel ball like teams, but it's all ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Chris said that's what it sounds like what a dog would do. Get out of here. He didn't do nothing. He like went over there just to show up, have a whole bunch of people in the back of him, but then not do nothing. Like, why flap the jaws, man? Dogs will go get into the fight. Dogs don't flap their jaws and make your whole team assemble behind you and then just all right. Yeah, I guess we won't fight. Didn't do nothing. How is the dog not going to be there and like throwing a punch? You go all that way out of your way to make it seem like you're going to a brawl, like you're the fucking Warriors or something, and then you don't go fight. Like, get out of here. He said a lot of these questions are not fair. He said you asked Charles Barkley about Shaq, did the halftime show, he probably would have called Shaq a bitch. I know he would. But we've actually seen Shaq in action. And I'm sure that Shaq would call Charles Barkley a bitch. And you know what the difference is? Those guys are dogs. Like that's what it is. That's what it is. Like we're not talking about these super soft ass players like now, like LaFlop, who needs to go out there flopping. Like it's just a different brand of basketball now. And that's why the shit's trash and I don't watch it. And he said, bro, it's not boxing. You serious? Well, if you're going to go get up in people's faces and try to storm in on the locker room, what was he storming in on the locker room for? To not fight? Because I don't get it. Like that's what I don't get what your point is. Like, why would he go do that if the point is not to fight? What's the point? Chris says Shaq wasn't fighting nobody for real. I didn't say that he was. Shaq didn't try to go storm a team's locker room after the fact. And who are you taking in a fight? Chris Paul or Shaq? Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have in your starting five? Chris Paul or Shaq? Don't worry, I'll wait. Sure ain't gonna be Chris Paul. Out of every single point guard that's ever existed in the NBA, definitely ain't gonna be Chris Paul that you're picking. I don't know if Shaq would be the big man that everybody picked. And Tino said it's not even fair. I'm not the one who compared him. I was just saying, it's you were on one side of this and Chris was on the other side. We got YouTube and Instagram colliding. But yeah, it's not fair because Shaq is actually like way better. He's going to go down in history as one of the best big men ever. Chris Paul is going to be another good two-way player who never won a championship, who nobody really wanted to play with. Failed so many times. And see, we'll talk about his losses just like we talk about LeBron's. And Chris said, why are they fighting? Who else I got? So that specifically, I've said that's why maybe I'm thinking of Chris Paul as a bitch versus like being a dog, is because of that specific story that's been circulating about when Chris Paul finally went back to play LA, how there were like how there was a scuffle, like I don't even remember who the scuffle was with on the court. There's a little scuffle on the court. You know, they're getting their shoving match on, and that's fine. But then after the game, Chris Paul goes to try to storm the Clippers locker room. They pretty much say, no, you're not coming in here, and push him out. And he doesn't do nothing. And yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why assemble your team like you're the goddamn Warriors going to battle and then you don't go battle? He said one fight story you don't really know about. What do you mean one fight story I don't really know about? I'm telling you what happened. I mean, I'm telling you hearsay. Why would multiple NBA players need to keep up the same random story about Chris Paul? I'm banned. I still can't see, but I can't post. Oh, on what? Facebook? Crispy said, fuck Facebook. I deleted mine. Yeah. I got to keep Facebook around because that's how we're getting it's how we're getting a lot of people in these dynasty leagues. Let me go see if I can find one of the videos. Dang it. Knew I should have fucking saved it. Don't worry, Chris. You made me want to start I'm gonna start saving clips. We're gonna start saving clips that I see. Got a whole bunch of space. And Tino said that's why I use TikTok. He said after TikTok became illegal. After TikTok becomes illegal, I think I'm off social media. Yeah. I mean, but TikTok's it's fucking awesome, man. Because we just get a whole bunch of crazy short form videos. I said Chris is a pit bull. Said he's a dirty player in most eyes. Well, yeah, that's why. That's probably one of the reasons why I said that people hate him. Like, if that's why I said that's why my opinion's probably skewed on him being a dog, is because there's been multiple people just talking shit about him. And don't worry, if they're talking shit about him now, I'm sure they're going to go on other podcasts and talk shit about him later. I'll get the clips when I get it. And so if you're picking your all-time team, who's the point guard that you're picking? Chris, is it going to be Chris Paul? Is that the point guard that you're picking? Because if not, why are you all on his jock? He said, just like Kobe's a dog. Yeah, I don't think anybody would question that. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. Yeah. It's going to be tough. I'm going to, because Bronny's just got to prove it, because that's the only reason we're talking about Chris Paul or anybody else, because it's all coming down to Bronny. And who didn't deserve to get drafted, but got drafted. And yeah, Chris, I'm picking Magic. Yeah. Chris Paul's not that good. Like, how many people would you pick above Chris Paul? I don't even know why you mentioned him specifically. Maybe because they're both 6'1". I don't know. Is that the one? Was that the correlation, or why you picked him specifically? Yeah, and I think most would pick Magic. It's hard to go against that. Like, my anti-Lakers would be like, fuck Magic. I'd rather take Steve Nash and just be on a crazy run and gun team. Chris had nothing to do with Bronny. This whole conversation is about Bronny, no matter what. This whole conversation is happening because of Bronny. And Tino said, who's better, John Stockton or CP3? I mean, it's actually a good comparison, right? Because neither one of them have a championship. John Stockton is in the Hall of Fame. I mean, like John Stockton, right? Like just John Stockton and Karl Malone. I know they had other players, but it was like, man, those guys were so good. Got them to back-to-back championships, only to get their asses whooped in 6 games by Jordan. But yeah. And Chris said Chris Paul's a Hall of Famer. He might be. He's not there yet. So yeah, you could say he's a future Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer yet. Who you taking, Chris? John Stockton or CP3? Let's see it. Let's see it. Tino said, I'll take Curry, Kobe, Larry Bird, LeBron, and Shaq. LeBron doesn't play the 4, bro. Got to pick between Larry Bird and LeBron. You don't get to move players around. It's not the way that this works. Chris said, hard question. All right, at least you're not super biased towards Chris Paul. Because, yeah, it is a good question. Because, like, you can't go either way on a guy having a championship and use that in the argument. So, but, yeah, I'm curious what you say after thinking. Yeah, Tino, you got to change that around, bro. He said Larry and Bron could play the 4. You pick. No. They both play the 3. They both play the 3. You don't get to change them around. They're both small forwards. You don't get to change that around. I'm taking Larry Bird over LeBron at the 3. Hell yeah. If KD wasn't such a bitch, he might be there at the 3, but KD's a bitch. Yeah, and he said, and that's point. Yeah, that's his counterpart. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a good. That was actually a good question, Tino. Well, yeah, of course you're gonna take LeBron, Chris. You didn't need to. Of course you're taking LeBron. If you have him as the GOAT like that he should be your 3. And Tino said, bro, LeBron plays every position. He is a 3. Okay. When you go play on an all-star team, whatever your position is, that's what your position is. Okay. It's not what you can what they switch you around in a game, because yeah, a whole bunch of teams run different sets. LeBron wouldn't be a 5 by any metrics if you go back to the 90s or anything like that. It's just different. Okay. So no, you don't get to move their positions around. Okay. This isn't a regular season pickup game, or it's a pickup game where you got to pick a spot and they play their spots. You're not changing it around. Okay. He said for the Heat, he played a whole season at power forward. No, he didn't. Chris Bosh was the power forward. Chris Bosh was the power forward. What are you smoking, dude? What are you smoking? Chris Bosh was the power forward. You're fucking crazy. I can't even remember who their center was at the time. Chris, I'm not mad. You got MJ. Yeah, MJ would be my 2 for sure. I mean, I know that Kobe, he could be in the mix. Who else could be in the mix at a shooting guard? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's really taking, and like, I don't know who else is being taken at a shooting guard other than Kobe or Jordan in that spot. So, but yeah, of course I'm taking Jordan at the 2. Hell yeah. And if you guys wouldn't have him on your all-time 5 at the 2, that just means my team is going to beat your team because I got Jordan on it. Oh, and yeah, of course Jordan's the GOAT. Of course Jordan's the GOAT. And it's not just because of the 6 championships either. I mean, we could go the first team all defense. I mean, he's got the all-time high with Kobe and Gary Payton with 9. He has a defensive rookie of the year under his belt. He actually has a slam dunk contest under his belt. He wasn't scared to go perform for the fans. He actually said, I play all 82 games because when the fans pay to come see the Chicago Bulls, they're paying to see me play. LeBron has only played 82 games once. Jordan, when he was losing in the beginning of his career, first half of his career, he was actually losing to teams that were winning championships in the playoffs, not in the finals. Because I know there's people, LeBron lost to people in the finals? Like, of course, like he lost to the teams that won. No, I'm talking about teams in the playoffs. Tino, we're not talking about the last 2 years of his career, okay? You're taking Larry within the last 2 years of his career, or you're taking him in the prime when he won back-to-back-to-back championships, okay? Because if you're saying Larry Bird, you might as well be taking him now then, if that's the logic that you're using, not when he was at his peak. That's how basketball works. Yeah. So, okay, fine. So you're taking Larry Bird when he's in his second to last year. I'm going to be taking him when he was in his prime, and I'll be playing him at the 3. And you won't be having him in his prime. So that means I'm also going to beat you because I got the better version of Larry Bird than you do. So I'm taking him when he played power forward for the Olympics. Fine. I'm taking peak Larry Bird when he was the back-to-back-to-back champ, and when he was the back-to-back-to-back MVP and dominating the Eastern Conference. That's when I'll take him. So that means I'm going to beat you because I got the better version of Larry Bird. Yeah. Chris said Jordan lost in the playoffs. Yeah, and he lost to a team like the Celtics, a team that literally dominated an entire decade. An entire decade before, after dominating for like 11 straight years or whatever it was. Who else did he lose to? He lost to the bad boy Pistons, a team that won back-to-back championships and pretty much dominated the East for those 2 years before Jordan actually took over and then beat the team that was dominant for 2 years. Tell me, let's go through all the teams that LeBron lost to. Those shitty-ass Indiana Pacers. Like, man, who did he lose to last year? Like we could go down the list of the trash teams that LeBron has lost to in the playoffs. He said that Warriors didn't dominate. Warriors are in the finals, homie, not in the Warrior. Or wait, when are we talking about the Warriors in the finals? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Warriors in the finals. Yeah, because I'm keep saying playoffs, the playoff teams that he lost to. Yeah, so you're going with the finals teams. I said playoff teams because it's not fair to compare winning to winning in the finals. You don't want to do that. 6-0 is way better than 4-10 or whatever the fuck like it is. No matter what, LeBron's lost to everybody. Jordan didn't lose to anybody when it comes to the finals. So I'm trying to do you a favor and keep the finals out of it. Because yeah. When Jordan makes it to the finals, he just wins and never loses. LeBron loses more than he wins in the finals, even with teams that are assembled by him. Said he beat everyone in the playoffs. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, let's go. Let's go look year by year LeBron's playoffs. Let's go find it. This should be a fun exercise. There we go. Let's see. Maybe his wiki page will be enough. Will it give me every year? Nope. LeBron James yearly playoff finishes. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a year-over-year playoffs. Let me see. All right. All right, here we go. So it only starts at 2006. So you don't even get the first, 3, 4, 5. We don't even get the first 3 years of his career on this article. I'm sure we could go find it. Well, we have to. Hold on. Because Jordan gets judged on the first 3 years of his career, not beating playoff teams. So hold on. Let's find it. There's got to be another one on here. Oh, you know what? Maybe he didn't even make the playoffs those years. That's probably what it was. Yep, didn't even make the playoffs till those years. Okay, so see, didn't even make the playoffs in his first couple years. Let me see. All right, here we go. And minimize this so it's easier to read. All right, so going back to 2006, he didn't even make the playoffs before that. Made it to the final conference semifinals, lost to the Detroit Pistons. I mean, it's crazy how the Detroit Pistons, like, they sucked on offense. Like, their offense was so trash. Like, it was just garbage. But their defense was so good that they actually made it. I mean, this is in the height of the East being trash. So, but yeah, lost to the Detroit Pistons. Made it to the finals the next year. Got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. Next year, made it back to the conference semifinals, lost to the Boston Celtics. Well, there you go. I guess he lost to the same Celtics once. Those Larry Bird Celtics, way more dominant than the 2008 Celtics. Oh, and wait, so conference semifinals. So lost in the second round. My bad. I didn't even mention that against the Detroit Pistons. Hold on. Let me pull this up so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Oops. Tino said, how old was Jordan when he made his first playoffs? Well, LeBron's got 4 extra years on him. Back then, you couldn't even, I mean, like that's what's crazy if that would even be an argument, because like you couldn't get drafted, or you had to go to college back then. So that's just one of the things. Yeah, man, it sucks for Jordan that he couldn't. So many players that can't come out now out of high school. But so here you go. Detroit Pistons semifinals. So second round, lost to the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons did not go to the finals like that year. Then got swept by the Spurs. Lost in the semifinals. Yeah, not even the semifinals. Yeah, Chris, I said that. So they lost to the same Celtics. And I said Larry Bird's Celtics were way more dominant than that version of the Celtics, is what I said. They won multiple championships, not just one. Lost in the conference finals to Orlando. Yep. And Orlando, they were decent with Dwight Howard, right? Oh, lost again to the Boston Celtics in the second round. And then he changed teams. Lost to the Celtics twice. Couldn't get past the Celtics. And then changed teams. Made it to the finals. Got swept. He only averaged 17 points a game in those finals. These are his full playoff stats, though. Then they won. You beat the Oklahoma City Thunder with that, probably the youngest team in history to ever make the finals. Oh, yeah. Then they beat the Spurs. Then you lose to the Spurs. Lost to the Warriors. Then he comes back and beats the Warriors after Draymond Green was suspended for Game 5. I know Tina remembers that. Then lost to the Warriors again. Then lost to the Warriors again. Then they beat the Miami Heat during COVID. Lost to the Phoenix Suns in the first round. Straight trash. Then got swept by the Denver Nuggets. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of years that LeBron is, I mean, yeah, he made it to the finals a bunch. I mean, yeah. Tino said he made Curry look like a fool, like Brady. Oh man. I mean, it's just there's a lot of losses when you play all these extra years. Kind of taints the good years. When you got more bad years than good years, it's just a little bit tainted. And Chris said, "Now do Jordans. Let's go see Jordan year by year playoff finishes." Let's see. All right, here we go. Found it on the exact same site too. And let's not forget, LeBron didn't even make the playoffs for the first few years of his career, okay? It was 2006. When did he come in? 03? So, yeah, 03, 04, or 04, 05. So it took him until his third year took him his third year to make the playoffs. And let's go see. Let's go see what the Milwaukee Bucks did in 1985 because I don't even remember. So yeah, he loses in the first round 3-1 to the Milwaukee Bucks. Look at this. He only averages 29 points a game in those. Yeah, only averages 29 points a game. The Milwaukee Bucks were 59-23 that year. And guess what? That was his second year in the NBA. It didn't take him 3 years. Oh, look, and you didn't even have to play as many games. Loses to the champs. And he only averages 43 points a game in those. Yeah. It was really Jordan's fault why they lost. Only averaged 43 points a game. Lost again to the champs. Only averaged 37 points a game. Loses to the champs again. The Detroit Pistons. Loses to the champs again. The Detroit Pistons. Or wait, no. So one of these didn't. No, so one of these wasn't. So this one, they weren't the champs. They made it to the finals, though, and lost. And then they were the back-to-back champs. And then he wins, and then he wins, and then he wins. And he's averaging 30, and then he wins, and then he wins, and then he wins. So, like, yeah. So for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for the first 6 years of his career, he didn't win. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he wins every other year. The only year that he didn't win was when they lost to the Magic, when he literally came back like 3/4 of the way into the season. So look, I'll count it again for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 years. And only and I'm sure the Milwaukee Bucks didn't win. One of those years was his second year. LeBron didn't even make the playoffs in his second year. And 2 out of those 4 years, he did not lose to the team that actually won the championship. Let's go back to LeBron's again. What the hell is it? So let's see. LeBron loses 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 6. He lost the same set of playoffs that Jordan did. Same set, lost the first 6, just like Jordan. Exact same amount. Then back to back. But guess what? Jordan kept going after that. Case closed. Case closed. LeBron's a bum. Don't ever say he's the GOAT again. Tino said you can win an MVP averaging 30 a game. Yeah. For sure. And like, even if we go look, how many times did LeBron average over 30 points a game in the playoffs? 1. 2006 is 1. 2009 is 2. 2012 is 3. 2015 is 4. 17 5. 18 6. 6 times LeBron James averaged over 30 points a game, and his highest was 35 in 09. Let's see if he was higher than that anywhere. 35 in 09. 35 points a game in 09 was the highest, and he made it to the conference finals. Let's see Jordan. 43. So LeBron never averaged anywhere near 43. That's 1. 45. So literally in his 3rd year to the playoffs, I guess it's a first round exit. So either way, but it's not like it was definitely wasn't his fault why he was losing. That's 3 out of 4 years. 4 out of 5 years averaged over 30. 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7. I mean, shit. There's only 1 year that he didn't average over 30 in the playoffs. I mean, come on. Only 1 year that he didn't average over 30. Come on. Tina said, can you name a good basketball player you beat besides Malone and Stockton? Yeah. Do you remember a guy his name by the name of Magic Johnson? Clyde the Glide Drexler on the Trailblazers. Charles Barkley on the Phoenix Suns, who won the MVP that year. Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, who played on the Seattle Supersonics, and then Karl Malone and John Stockton 2 years in a row on the what's it called? Tino said all old at the time. Bro, get out of here. Get out of here. All old at the time. And Tino said, Chris said, what's the record, fam? Which record? 6-0 in the finals or the playoff record? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So he won 6 out of 13. 46%, won a championship. When he made it to the playoffs, won a championship at 46%. Let's see LeBron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 4 out of 16. That's 25%. LeBron's winning championships at 25%. Michael Jordan's winning them at 46%. Oh, what's his lifetime record? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Jordan lifetime NBA record. LeBron James all-time NBA. Wait, what did I say? Jordan, LeBron lifetime. Let's see. LeBron. So Jordan's all-time record is 706 and 33. So let's see, 706 plus 366, 1072. 706 out of 1072. Jordan's winning percentage was 0.658. 0.658. Let's see what LeBron's record is. Hold on. Let me write this down so I don't forget. So 706, 366, and that's 0.658%. LeBron is 965 and 527. Let's see what that adds up to. 965 plus 527, 1492. 965 divided by 1492. That is 64.6%. Man, I love when you give me when we get to do things like this. So yeah, Jordan's winning percentage is better than LeBron's winning percentage. Booyah. Funny. Give me some more things to look up, Chris. This is hilarious. What Tino share? God damn it, Tino. Hold on. I don't have the YouTube chat pulled up. And it won't let me copy and paste. Damn it. Hold on. Wrong link. So you can't compare Montana to Mahomes. It's just a different game. I don't compare Montana to Mahomes. I compare Montana to Brady. And even then it's tough because it's still a world of a different game for half of Brady's, more than half, 2/3 of Brady's career. All right, let's see. What is this, Tino? LeBron James versus Michael Jordan game in 2004. Oh, man. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let's go see. LeBron James versus Jordan. Hold on. Let's go see it. 3 minutes. They better not flag us for any of this, or I'm blaming you, Tino. All right, here we go, Chris. Let's let the game
back and forth. And for me, when I got the opportunity, they didn't let me play for like the first hour. I'm like,
the young guy
I'm
had to sit there.
Yeah, the young guy. I'm sitting there just waiting my turn. And to be honest, I didn't even think I would even get the opportunity to play. And the only reason I played is because the guys that was in the league, after after an hour, some of them niggas get tired. They're like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this shit. Hey, young fella, hey, we need a fifth. You want to play? So for me to be on the court, at 16 years old, sophomore in high school with, my favorite player of all time, man, it was like, this can't be real, man. If you pinch me, man, I was like, please, I hope I don't wake up.
Yeah, I remember that game. It was the point of that game. It was like to 7 or whatever, just like a pickup. It was pickup. And Stackhouse was there, and Paul Pierce, and Penny was playing.
Ron Artest at the time.
Jamal Crawford, all the baby bulls, Eddie Curry. But Mike and Twan were like, they split them up. They were kind of the captains of each team, and they wouldn't stop. And Mike hit a game winner in the game, just like Ron said. With the same Utah foul with a pickup. And was like, yeah, that's why they pay me $33 million to do this. That's why they pay me $33 million. I'll never forget that.
There's a photo circulating, social media universe of you and Mike on the court. Do you know if that was that run? Is that camp maybe?
No, that is Santa Barbara. That is Santa Barbara. That's Michael Jordan's camp in Santa Barbara. We were on the same team then. I was a rookie.
Oh, you was a rookie in the league already?
Yeah,
okay.
I was a rookie in the league, and I went to Santa Barbara to MJ's camp, and we used to play around 9:00 p.m. The camp would end. He would let the kids watch like the first game around like 8:30, and then he'd have all the kids leave, and then we would stay along with the college kids that he would invite to the games as well, or to the camp, I should say. And we would get a good ass run in for about a good hour 15. And yeah, so I was on the team with MJ, and we didn't lose a game.
He's been riding MJ's coattails ever since, trying to pretend he's the GOAT. Get the fuck out of here. That's tight though. See? OJ Mayo's a dog. You go try to guard up Jordan. Go try to guard Jordan. That's 17. LeBron just wanted to play on the team. Watching. LeBron's watching on the sideline while OJ Mayo's fucking high school. LeBron's a bum. He was just there to watch. Told you. Okay, so what? So then what, man? So he said Jordan 6 for 15, not 6 for 6, my guy. So what's LeBron? What's LeBron? Please do LeBron's numbers. I'll wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. What's LeBron's numbers? Because I'm ready to do the math. So 6 for 15. Jordan's winning championships at 40%. Let me know when you got LeBron's numbers ready. Four for 21. Huh, so LeBron's winning at a 19% rate and Jordan's winning at a 40% rate. Not your GOAT, huh? Again, lowering the bar for winning. It's scrubby, man. It's scrubby. Like the longer we play this game and you saying LeBron's the GOAT is just showing like, I don't know, just how there's biased for like not the greatest player around. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Wasn't Jordan like co-owner of like the team while he was doing that also? Said LeBron never tapped out. Facts. No, he keeps not winning. Yeah, so who cares about tapping out when you're not winning? Like, come on. Jordan went out on top. I mean, yeah, he comes back and plays for the Wizards. Like, yeah, if you want to consider that part of his legacy, go ahead. I mean, it doesn't matter. LeBron's played more years and one less. More years and one less. Bob, what up, Bob? He said that 420 Fantasy Hustler. I owe you a subscribe. If you can post the link. Let me see. Where are you? I'm assuming you're on the 420 Fantasy Hustler page. Said you care about quitting. I care about winning. I care about winning. So, I mean, that, you know, however you want to slice it, you don't care about winning because LeBron doesn't care about winning, and that's fine. It's fine. I don't think LeBron's ever cared about winning. So that's YouTube, and then Patreon. That's the other place. Patreon.com/FFHustler420. And he said Jordan quit. No, he didn't. Well, if you're counting the Wizards years, he played into his 40s. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? He played into his 40s if you're counting his Wizard years. So LeBron's not even 40 yet. So it's very weird that you consider Jordan's Wizard years when he was over 40, but you're saying that he quit. Said he quit on the Bulls. Okay. So LeBron quit on the Cavs one time, then he quit on the Heat another time, and then he quit on the Cavs again. Like, what are we saying here? What are we saying? LeBron's literally like, are you acting like LeBron has played on the same team like his entire career? Like, this is the weirdest argument for a LeBron James fan to make. He said the man retired. So, and then he won 3 championships, retired, and then came back and then won 3 more championships. If LeBron could win 3 championships in a row, I'm sure a bunch of people would tell him to retire for 2 years, but he couldn't do it once. So why would he be able to do it twice? Why would he be able to do it twice? He still won more in less. He won more in less time. I don't get what the quitting has to do and how it like makes your argument like any better. LeBron played 22 straight years. Yeah, and he held the league hostage for a lot of those years and acted like a fucking bitch for a lot of those years. A lot of those years, he's a big bitch. And he guaranteed 8 championships. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. When you guarantee championships and then you don't hit it, you're a joke. You're a fucking joke. Imagine if Babe Ruth called his shot and didn't win the championship. Imagine if Michael Jordan talked all that shit about how he never lets a team get to game 7. And then in the last year of his career, he lets the Jazz get to game 7. Like, imagine if things like that happen. They didn't happen, but they happened for LeBron. All he does is flap his fucking gums. All he does is flap his fucking gums and lose and lose. He won 4 times. Yeah. And he lost a million other times, right? He only won 4 out of 21. 4 out of 21. That's 19%. Jordan was winning at a 40% clip. He said he never talked that. Yes, he did. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. Come on, man. And Bobby said, come on, Jordan's the GOAT. I know, and Chris is our age too. Well, at least my age. I know we're around the same age. Tino said, to be fair, MJ's never won a championship without Pippen. LeBron's never won a championship being the best player on his team. D Wade, better. Took LeBron under his wing the whole time that he was on the Heat until the last year, until they lost, and then he quit on the Heat. Kyrie, the scorer on the team when it was all said and done. AD, the scorer on their team when it's all said and done. And LeBron, every single time they won, had to assemble a big 3. Jordan's never been a part of a team that acquired their entire team as free agents. Never happened. Never happened. Yep. And Conquertham says, who wins without teammates? Exactly. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. And Pippen and Jordan were drafted to the same team. Tino said, I don't believe Wade ever won an MVP. That don't matter. Of course he didn't. It's LeBron's it's LeBron's show. Come on. Like, why would he win an MVP? Every time LeBron, just like, I mean, come on. Same thing with Kobe, right? I don't know if Kobe deserved that MVP that he got in the last year, especially when it comes down to game 7 and you suck and it's Meta World Peace and Pau Gasol, who like are the ones putting in the work. Yeah, they did acquire Rodman. And like I said, Pittman was drafted to the same team as Michael Jordan, and they won 3 together. Every team that LeBron has been a part of that won acquired all the main pieces of their team via free agent, except for Kyrie Irving. And the only reason he was there was because LeBron quit on the Cavs and their whole team imploded because of that. And they sucked and had the first pick. Yeah, big 3, my guy. Yeah. And 2 of them were drafted by that team. LeBron played on a team where one other person was drafted who was a star. He left and then came back, and probably because of Kyrie, then hated on him. Yep. Conquarium said Rodman was damn near out of the league when the Bulls got him. No team wanted him. Yep, exactly. But we won't mention that because, yeah, Rodman is great because he won 5 championships. Rodman won more championships than LeBron. So yeah, I mean that he's lucky to get drafted to the bad boy Pistons. He as a 2nd rounder, no less. Let's see if Bronny can do anything like Dennis Rodman did. Dennis Rodman was a 2nd rounder. And then yeah, he was lucky enough that nobody wanted him, and Jordan knew that he could keep him in line enough. And guess what? Jordan kept him in line enough, and they won 3 championships. Like, yeah, LeBron fans are the only ones out there who make winning championships a bad thing. That's it. Nobody else in the history of anybody of a fan has like used it as an argument that your guy wins better, so that makes him worse because he has good teammates in a team sport. I want to see one team sport where like the guy who won and the guy who was the best player on the team didn't have any good teammates at all. Like Kyrie Irving, not Kyrie Irving, what the hell's his name? Kawhi Leonard. That might be like one of the only ones. Giannis. Like, yeah. And Chris said, you do. When do I make it seem like not winning is not, or that winning is a bad thing? That's always been my whole argument about not whole argument, but that's always been the big part of the argument against LeBron for anybody, not even just me. Said you hate LeBron with teammates. No. I always reverse it when anybody says Pittman, anybody says Rodman, anything like that. It's me throwing it back at LeBron. It's the exact same thing because it's the exact same argument. They both had good teammates. They both had good teammates. And guess what? Jordan won more with his good teammates. LeBron assembled every single team that he was a part of that won a championship. Come on. Because did they only have LeBron and Kyrie? Nope. They go out and give Kevin Love a max contract. You're forgetting everybody who you're talking about was getting paid max contracts. The only reason why Scottie Pippen was with the Bulls for a long time is because the Bulls offered him a 10-year fucking deal and he actually took it. He actually took it. And it's because he was so injury prone before that because he kept getting injured. Like people forget about that. Kept getting injured. Oh man. When we said, and the Conquarium said, I'm not about dividing, just speaking the truth. Yeah, and you know, this is sports talk. You know, I hope Chris isn't taking offense to any of this because nothing's against him. It's against his boy LeBron and against his stance. Like that's it. You know, so yeah, there's no offense being thrown personally at anybody by me. I mean, if I doubt LeBron would take offense to anything that I say because he's not hearing it. And I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say if we were ever on the same podcast either, because I'm not saying anything disrespectful about LeBron. I'm literally talking about stats here and numbers. And Chris said, boy, please, we've been arguing for years. Yeah, see, and it's not been personal. It's not been personal. And are you doubting he was trash on the Spurs? No, I mean, Rodman's never been trash to me. Like his attitude's been trash. Like that's what I'm curious if anybody would say that Rodman's trash. Tino said, yeah. Oh, he said, actually not on the Spurs. He balled. I thought you were talking about the Mavs. Yeah, I mean, those are like literally his last years on the way out. Chris said it's a dumb one. Just like I think your LeBron opinion is a dumb one. It's fine. We can still be friends. So if you think 15 rebounds a game is out of the league, you don't know basketball. I mean, Dennis Rodman's like the best rebounder of all time. And it's crazy that anybody would compare Draymond Green to Dennis Rodman. It's blasphemous. You remember the game where he took his shoes off on the court and sat on the court? I mean, he's crazy. He's crazy. Dennis Rodman is he's a psycho, man. And he's I mean, it's nuts, man. And he's the guy out of all these psychos. He's the guy who could go to like South Korea or North Korea, I mean, and go sit down with some crazy fucking dictators and try to like talk some sense into them. Like that's fucking crazy. Like Dennis Rodman's a fucking psycho. Yes, I think he was a Spur before the Bulls. Was he a Spur before the Bulls? Let's go see. Because I wonder how many years was he on the Bad Boy Pistons. Let's go see. Let's go see. Nope, it was before. Because remember, you guys remember that movie Eddie? That came out before. That came out in like 94, or maybe it was 95 that it came out, and he was on the Spurs there. Yeah, so I'm looking it up. So he was on the Pistons from 86 to 93. They won 2 championships in that time. And then he was on the Spurs for 93 through 95, so 2 years. And that's pretty much when he was getting run out of the league. Well, he was on. No way. Was he on the Lakers team that won a championship? No, he was there 1 year before they won the championship. Then he went to the Mavericks. Yeah. Then he played for the Long Beach Jam. What? In 05-06, he was playing on the Tijuana Dragons? Damn. Those were like literally the years that I was going to Tijuana. That would have been fucking crazy to go see Dennis Rodman play on a fucking Tijuana Tijuana basketball team. Tina said, he wasn't a split before too? Yeah, he was a wild card. Tina said Tijuana Dragon's such a dope name, right? Like, man, what a dope name for a team. What? He played in North Korea? Damn, I mean, Dennis Rodman's crazy. He's crazy, and it's nuts that that's gonna he's someone who's bridging the gap between like a crazy fucking dictator and America. Like, that's fucking nuts. He's a savage. He's a savage, to say the least. Oh man. I mean, these basketball talks are fun. See, now that I know Chris will be around here for some basketball talk, we'll bring him around. And seeing Chris, we need to get you live on here. I don't watch anything like right now. Like I don't watch new NBA, but we want to talk basketball. We need to get it to where you come on with us and talk some basketball maybe during the season. And yeah, and I can just give crazy takes, and like you could be the guy who like gives like the real knowledge of like what's going on in the current NBA. All right, he said bet. And we won't talk about LeBron and Jordan every day. We'll pick and choose days for that to happen. But yeah, that'd be cool because it doesn't have to be a morning show, or it could be a Saturday or something, like, we'll figure it out. But I think that would be fun. I think it would be fun because we talk about all sports. And yeah, you could be our ear to the streets for the NBA. And Tino said, "Is Rodman the GOAT role player?" See, okay, now I guess that's where we have to decide. Like, I mean, he was a part of that big three, the Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, for sure. I mean, I know they had guys like Kerr and Kukoc and Big Shot Bob and stuff like that. Like, feel like those guys were a little bit more role players than Rodman. Like, so do we consider? Because I mean, by that logic, then Pippen would have been a role player as well. And I don't know if do we consider the big three to be role players? Like obviously not the number one piece of that, but do we consider all two out of the three parts of a big three? Do we consider them role players or not? Or would those just be like the stars on the team? And then kind of everybody else, who's like, let's say 4 through, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, and 6. Maybe like the next 3 players, like those would be like the role players, 2 out of the 3 starters, or maybe like 1 guy and then 2 guys on the bench. What would you consider that, Chris? Would like a guy like Dennis Rodman actually be considered a role player, or would all 3 of the big 3 on a team be like, would none of them be role players? Those would just be the stars. Tino said Rodman never really scored. Okay, let's go see. Let's see if it shows me his stats on this page. Where's points per game? So for a career, he averaged 7.3 points a game. There was only 1 year that he averaged double-digit points. I mean, it's his rebounds per game. I mean, he averaged 13 rebounds a game as a career, and he led the NBA in rebounds per year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rebounds per game. What I say, 7 years in a row. 7 years in a row. And it was only his first 4 years where he did not average more than 10 rebounds a game. That's it. And those were the years where he was actually scoring more. It was like during the Pistons He was averaging 9.4 during their first championship year and 9.7 during their second championship year. And then first championship year, he averaged 9 points a game. And then next championship year, 8.8 points a game. Right? So motherfucker can see the rebound in slow motion. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Did you hear how he would explain like the shit? And like he knew how every single player's shot would affect the way that the ball turned and like the spins and how many rotations, how many times the ball would rotate for each shooter. And like, man, like his brain for that kind of shit, like, man, I mean, just like it sounds insane. And Chris said, nah, he was the big three, and MJ didn't need him to score. Okay. But see, so not considered a role player. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like the big three, like those would just be the stars. I don't think any big three, like, I mean, any of LeBron James's big threes or whatever, you know, like I wouldn't consider any of them role players. They were all kind of the stars. Tina said didn't see it in slow motion. I mean, it was probably on some psychedelics watching it in slow motion. Said not Rodman more than a role player. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't consider him a role player. I wanted to see what everybody else thought as well. He was one of the stars. I mean, you're averaging that many rebounds a game. It's fucking, it's insane. It's insanity. Yeah, I mean, pretty much for the Bulls, he was averaging like a little more than 5 points a game. He was the Bronny James of the NBA in scoring at that point. But his rebounds, though, I mean, fuck, one of those years, 16 during their second year that they won, he averaged over 16 rebounds a game. Like he was like averaging over 15 rebounds a game all 3 years that he was on the Bulls. Wow. And Chris said Celtics had a big six. Well, I mean, come on, big six. I mean, it was Paul Pierce and it was KG and it was Ray Allen. I mean, that's the big three. Rondo, I mean, he was a rookie. Like, he got lucky. But he was a role player. And Big Baby, Kendrick Perkins. I mean, those would be the role players, like, on that team. And Tino said, what's Green? Green's got to be part of the big three. I mean, for sure. It was Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Like, they were the big three over there. And then it turned into the big four with KD. But yeah, you know what? That's a good question for after they got KD. Who was the role player? Because I feel like it's got to be like the big three, you know, and who would have been the role player out of, I mean, obviously it wasn't KD, it wasn't Curry. Who was the role player out of Clay and Draymond, and who was the big three member? Tino, I'm going to leave that to you. You're a resident Warriors guy. Let me know after KD got there for those 2 years. We know Steph wasn't no role player. He was one of the stars. Which one was the star out of Clay and Draymond, and which one was the role player? And Chris said the Larry Bird Celtics. I mean, they were the big four. I mean, I mean, I'll give that. I mean, their starting five was just ridiculous. Like, at the time, all those big tall white boys, man, like, it was ridiculous. What? Tina said, honestly, Curry might have been the role player. He said, just shoot the motherfucking lights out. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't play defense. That's for sure. But so you'd say that you'd say that Curry was the role player, and that Clay and Draymond were the big three stars. Is that what you're saying? Honestly, Iggy or Green, depending on those years. I mean, Iggy, I feel like was like it's crazy. Like, they made him the starter that game 3, and like everything changed. Everything changed. Like, that was wild. I'd still say Iggy was the role player though, even though like it was insane, like what a role player he was. But that was crazy during that time. They make him the starter because he was doing so good in game 1 and game 2. Make him the starter in game 3. Everything changed. Okay, and Sync Aquarium, Draymond's a role player. Say, okay, you're on different things. Said Iggy would come back and then lock someone down, bro. I know, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I know, like, it's kind of tough. Like, that's why I'm asking you, because just on paper, that was just the big three. But yeah, that first year though, when they won it, the very, very first year, I mean, Iggy, man, he was a fucking savage. He was a savage that year. Man, Mark Jackson, he got done dirty. Man, they were like such on the rise. Then they fire him 1 year before, and then they bring Kerr. Then they bring Kerr in, and then they get like 4. That was a great move. I wonder, like, could Mark Jackson have done it? And Chris said, all-time better team, the Bulls or the Warriors. I mean, I got to give it to the Bulls, man, because like Rodman wasn't even as tall as Draymond, and like Draymond, he would have got owned by Rodman. And like Michael Jordan, like, see, I guess it's like, what rules would you have played? Because like that team, they wouldn't even be the same like back in the 90s. Like if you bring the 90s Bulls into this, into this, well, let's say this decade. I mean, all that happened within these last 10 years, right? If you bring them into this decade, the amount of scoring that Michael Jordan would do would be crazy. Like, look what he was doing back then with those rules. Like now, any type of thing is like a foul. Like Jordan would be going to the line like 20 times a game and hitting the and ones. And it's a way different game now. So like, that's what's crazy. And Tina said, this is the point you're making. You can't compare LeBron to Jordan. It's different. Yeah. I mean, Jordan would have played longer if the rules weren't the same. Like if the rules were the same, like hand checking, like, and just like, come on, man. Like, I want you to tell me one game that LeBron got fucked up like Jordan was getting fucked up versus the bad boy Pistons. Like anything, like, cause just that alone, like LeBron's never had to go through that kind of like craziness in the NBA because it doesn't even exist like anymore. And that's not talking shit. Like the NBA is not like, you could not, like even Bill Laimbeer, like that motherfucker probably couldn't even be in the NBA like today. Like he's probably not skilled enough. But like back then, forcer upon enforcer, and like just a crazy enforcer. And because he was so good, people would get the hell like out of their way. And Chris said Warriors. Okay, so but are you saying that the Bulls would not score more points in today's game than they would in the 90s? He said, no way, role player. Curry beats Jordan. No, they're not. They're not. Like, who's guarding Jordan? I mean, I guess it would be Clay, right? He would be forced to. Who's guarding Scotty? Like, Curry's going to be guarding Steve Kerr. He can't get in his way. I mean, Curry's not gonna get in his way for the shot. Yeah, Tino says facts. Has different eras require different talents. Yeah, because like, remember when Jordan got like even like guards weren't even a thing like back then. Like it was all about the big men in the early 80s and like mid 80s when Jordan came in. And like now, like even now, like I mean Giannis, like and the dude on the Spurs, and like I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. And Chris said, who's guarding KD? I mean, KD's going to be able to score. Like KD, I feel like could score in like any. Well, see, and I don't know. KD, I take that back. KD's not going to be not as good of a scorer in the 90s as he would now, because he'd be getting bodied up and he's soft as fuck. But yeah, I mean, KD's going to get his 30, but like Jordan's going for 50, 60 against them, like easily. So like that's what it is. Like who's guarding Jordan like out of them? Clay's not holding Jordan. Like he's not holding him down. KD will get his 30. But yeah, he's not like KD's not even a guy who ever goes for like 50 or 60. Like I mean when it's really all on the line. Like I mean, let's go see what KD averaged. Yeah, and Chris said there's no KD in the 90s. Exactly. So that's why I said it's all about the difference in the rules. Rob said, can football just start already? I know, right? Tino said Clay and Iggy. I mean, maybe. I mean, would you say Clay and Iggy are better on ball defenders than Gary Payton? Let's just go there because Gary Payton's probably the best on-ball defender that Jordan ever went against. Aquarium said, you see what Tatum and Brown did to KD. Yeah, KD's soft, man. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I used to like KD. But when he left the Thunder to go to the Warriors, I mean, it proved how soft he was because he was the reason why they lost. And Tina said, we literally had the most wins in a season. Yeah, and like, who'd you beat? Beat the Bulls. And in the era where it's like it's a way softer version of basketball. Like if the Bulls were playing with these rules, you know what Michael Jordan would do with these rules. I mean, he's already averaging over 30 points a game most years. I mean, how many players average over 30 points a game, like have averaged over 30 points a game of all time? Like Chris said, I think he eats more in the 90s. KD's soft, bro. Like, I don't know how you could say he'd eat more in the 90s when he'd be getting bodied up way more. He's able to shoot now. Like, that's what it is when you're able to like shoot with like nobody in your face. And anytime you breathe on someone wrong, it's a foul. Like, that's just way different. That's way different. Like back in the 90s, LeBron's getting put at the line. I mean, come on. And his 75% shooting ass, like we know how garbage he would be getting all those shots. Like, I mean, it wouldn't make him better. And Kakwam said series would be close. Taking in considerations, Warriors turn the ball over on a high rate and the Bulls #1 defense. I mean, it's one of those things that's like I feel like nobody takes it into consideration because people only take the scoring into consideration. Like it's almost like nothing else matters. But Jordan was a better scorer than anybody on the Warriors would ever be. Curry's a better three-point shooter. Yeah, KD's a better three-point shooter. But we saw how Jordan's game was evolving, and farther in his career, he started making more threes when the game started to change. The difference is they were just grinding out teams. Like it was grind you out and score efficiently and win. Tino said Curry makes your hands slippery. And yeah, but good that it's hypothetical. Yeah, for sure. It's just fun to talk about it, right? Because it's always like what rules. It's like when we talk about Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali or anything like that. It's all hypothetical. Let's see. He said he's 7 foot tall, no one ever in his face. I mean, see, that's the difference. Is like a guy like Rodman, like he would like hassle a guy like KD, and he's like half his size. Doesn't matter. Give him the business because like if we're talking about the 90s, that's why like you bodied people up. KD is soft as fuck, skinny as fuck. He's a skinny little twig. And we already see when he's being bodied up, he can't do shit now. So how would he be able to do it in the 90s? I mean, come on. Outside of those 2 years with the Warriors, I mean, when has he been ultra dominant? Like he's just been like a really great scorer who can't get it done. Like when it really counts. And like it all started with the Thunder. He had multiple times. I mean, folds against Miami. And then in the last year that he was on the Thunder, the Warriors, I believe they tie it up in game 6 and they go to game 7 and fucking and KD fucking is a bum because they body him up and then he quits and then he quits on the Thunder and goes and joins the what's it called, the Warriors. And that pretty much I did not watch basketball on any kind of consistent basis after that happened. Basketball has been a joke to me ever since that happened, because even the best players like in the league are soft as fuck. Tino said Jordan Curry will pass Jordan if he plays 2 more seasons in all-time scoring. Yeah, for sure. And who would you rather have at their peak on your team? I know they play a different position, but who would you rather have on the peak of your team, Curry or Jordan? I know you can have both, but now I'm going to make you pick one. Yeah, I mean, so many people are going to pass Jordan because people are playing longer careers now and they're scoring at a little bit of a higher rate. Like now, that don't matter. Jordan's still the GOAT to all of those people who pass him. Jordan's still the GOAT to them. In 5 years, Jordan will probably be in the teens on the scoring list. Yeah, for sure. And like never really cared about all-time records, I don't think. Probably never thought he was gonna beat Wilt Chamberlain, who's fucking having those insane games. Tino said Luka would be interesting in the 90s. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, everyone who's playing now is like so soft that like I just can't even imagine any of them playing in the 90s. Even LeBron. LeBron flops now. Like, there's no flopping in the 90s. You're getting punched in the face. Yeah, Tino said Wilt Chamberlain's a liar. And yeah, Chris, Rodman played the post, not the perimeter. Exactly. But I mean, it's a team by team basis. So like, you can't say that any of the teams are going to play like they're going to play each other like they played other teams. Like you can't do that. You're going to play the team based on who they have. Tina said, who's your favorite NBA player now, Huss? I legit don't even have one. I don't even have one. KD was like my last favorite. No, I'd say Kawhi was my last favorite player. And, you know, shout out to SDSU. But outside of that, like it was KD and then it was Kawhi. I mean, I liked Westbrook because he was on the Thunder and I liked his style of play, but you know, just also someone when the moment was on the line, missed the big shot, you know, super, super whack. But yeah, I don't even have a best player or favorite player now. You know, so I would say NBA never had more stars than now. I mean, and all blah to me. It's all led by LeBron James, who's like, I don't know. He said that's way more competitive. Everyone's got a big three, and maybe that's why it's so blah, because like everyone is so good, but no one's dominant. Boston won with 4 dudes who would be a star on most teams. Yeah. Even then, I mean, super quiet. I mean, WNBA was more popular this year than WNBA, or no, the national. What was it? The national championship and the Caitlin Angel Reese game had more viewership than the NBA finals. Like that's how much people cared about the NBA finals. Yeah, Kawhi being gone is sad. Hope he recovers. Yeah. I mean, Kawhi, winning with the Toronto Raptors. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. They didn't have nobody over there. Somehow did it. Kawhi said they have yet to have a ratings as high as the Jordan last finals. I mean, you know, because that's when people really care about basketball. Like LeBron, KD, LeBron, like those stars made people like care about basketball less. It's kind of crazy. I think, but those two specifically, those were like, they were like the face of the NBA for the most years out of the last like 20 years, it seems. And Tina said the WNBA hasn't even made a profit and they're more popular than the NBA right now. And during the finals, like how fucking crazy is that? How crazy is that? A sport that's losing money is more popular. I feel like they're bullshitting, man. Like, you know, these owners, they're trying to make it to where it looks like they're losing a lot of money. You know why? Money, man. You pay less taxes. You lose 50 million as a company, you don't have to pay a bunch of taxes. You don't. Right? Aquarium said, but it's full of talent. That's what's crazy. And like, it hasn't nothing's been able to keep my attention with the NBA and the hype for that whole season too. What up? Johnny said, nice. Did a whole grocery run. You're still going. Yeah, we've been rocking for like almost 2 hours and 40 minutes right now. A lot of bowls. And Chris said, no LeBron, no LeBron, no Curry. No. Oh, no. I said KD and LeBron. They're the reasons why NBA viewership has probably gone down. I feel like Steph Curry might have helped rise it a little bit because, I mean, the way that Steph Curry was going, breaking like, you know, Ray Allen's record like so early, breaking Reggie Miller's record, you know, so early. Like, I mean, that's cool. Like, he's doing this like early in his career. You know, it took LeBron 20 years, you know, before he's breaking like, you know, before he's breaking like records that people are saying like, oh, because of this record, he's the GOAT. Tim said, I don't know where you're getting these numbers from. WNBA is more popular. So I think it's your TikTok algorithm. I said the women's national championship, so NCAA. I mean, that's me trolling, saying the WNBA is more popular. It's just because more people were talking about the WNBA. That's why I would say WNBA is more popular, just because it's more popular being talked about. But no, it's not more popular in viewership. But they did say the women's national championship game and the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese game had more viewership than the NBA finals. Maybe it's because it's Vegas. You don't have an NBA team yet. No, it's what's being talked about all the time. Like, not every sports show was talking about the NBA finals. Damn near every sports show mentioned Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in some facet of anything when just during the finals. Said, bro, you gotta switch up your algorithm. I have 5 different accounts. that I searched through. Tina said, please call him Jesus Shuttlesworth. I mean, he doesn't like the name Jesus, you know, so I gotta respect his wishes. He doesn't like the name Jesus. And Chris said LeBron's broken more records earlier than Curry. Which ones? Tell me. Said every show talked about the finals. I don't know about every show. I don't know about every show, because I'm not just talking about like the shows on ESPN. And it's not like I wasn't seeing things being talked about during the NBA finals. Meanwhile, my algorithm is exploding in twerk videos. I have 5 different TikTok accounts that I look at things from that all have a different set of algorithms, because I follow different accounts on each of those ones, and I only post videos on certain accounts of certain genres, and I only make sure like on certain genres to like follow certain accounts and stuff. So no, there's ones that I like look at everything. And you need to watch Luka, Kyrie, Boston. Yeah, of course I didn't watch. That shit was whack. Why would I watch? That shit was whack, and it wasn't even competitive. They fucking mopped the floor with them. It was fun for you to watch that. I mean, I guess if you're cheering for the Celtics, it's fun. But you're a fucking Laker LeBron guy. Like, you're cheering for the Celtics. That shit was whack as hell. Giant said, how could you not like a name like Jesus? Well, he said he got made fun of a lot, remember? He said he got made fun of a lot for the name being Jesus. And Tim said, bro, did I tell you my AR to get painted? No. Make sure you when you post it on TikTok. Or if you do post it on TikTok, yeah, okay, get it 6 weeks. I'll send you a pic. That's fucking funny. You're a fucking savage. Is it gonna get used every time that the Cowboys win? Is that the only time that that it gets used and you pull it out? Is when the Cowboys win? Now there's got to be some story like that. And Brown versus Tatum. I watch basketball. I didn't say that you don't watch basketball. I know you do, but I said I said it couldn't have been fun watching that much unless you were cheering for the Celtics. So that's what I said. Were you cheering for the Celtics? Because you either love the Celtics or you hate them. As a LeBron Laker guy, like, I mean, there's no in between with a team like the Lakers or with a team like the Celtics. And that's all I'm saying. It couldn't have been that entertaining to watch. Because I mean, those games, like, even the highlights were barely entertaining. And like, I couldn't imagine sitting through a full game like that. Tina said it's odd. I love everything my wife hates. I mean, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I mean, I think it's just a yin and a yang of a man and a woman. Because, yeah, Vanessa doesn't like sports. I mean, got her into wrestling a little bit, so that was kind of cool. Did get into that, but that's because it's more like a soap opera, than like real sports. So she could dig it, and like Nikki Bella and shit, those kind of chicks. They were around when I first introduced her to it, and they had that reality TV show that made it more funny. To like see her ask questions about like the wrestling stuff that was going on. And Chris said we all sat through the boring ass Super Bowls. Those still count. I mean, I'll talk shit about them if they're boring Super Bowls, though. Like that's the difference. Like you won't be honest about what's going on. I talk shit about players. I'll talk shit about games. I'll talk shit about a bunch of things that are going on. I'm not gonna keep it super PC. I got to call a spade a spade. That's it. And boring World Series, we don't discredit them. I mean, shit, I don't watch the World Series because that shit's boring as fuck all the time. And so we don't discredit them. I mean, I discredit all of them. Like I do. If something is boring as hell, I will discredit it. And said we all talk shit. Whoa, yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm not saying we don't all talk shit, but I'm just saying, like, you're a guy saying that Bronny James deserved to get drafted. I'm a guy who's saying he didn't, because he didn't do anything to deserve to get drafted other than being born out of his dad's balls. Like, that's it. That's the only thing he did to deserve it. To say this was a good finals, come on, y'all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's all I'm saying. It's not about watching it or not. Like, you can watch it and say it sucks. Like, that's all I'm saying. Keep it real. The finals was whack. The finals was super whack. So we knew where it was heading for sure. I mean, Mavericks didn't stand a chance. Ever since Mark Cuban became not the majority owner of the Mavericks, they've just been very, very blah. They've had Luka. They got their big marketing piece, who's a fucking beast. But yeah, I mean, they're not getting over the hump. They're not getting over the hump. They got to play a team like LeBron to get over the hump. But now they play in the same division. I mean, conference. So I have to be real. I can't remember an NFL game that you liked last season as well. See, exactly. Come on. I like at one point Tino was like, "Do you even like anything?" See, constructive criticism. I mean, that's it. I'm not here to yank anybody's chain. And Chris said you didn't watch the game to have an opinion. I watched some game in the background, and yeah, it's boring. And like, man, that it's all basketball to me is boring now because like there's no defense. Like there's random back and forth. It's like what all-star games used to be. Now they're even softer than that. Like it's just super whack. Like in general, like there's zero hype behind them now too. And like, yeah, if it goes to game 7, I probably watched that entire game. Didn't, because the Mavs suck. Yeah, so no, I did not watch all of the games. I did not watch 100% of all the games like I'm sure that you did. And Chris said, isn't it the same for football? Man, I watch more football in one weekend or one Sunday than I've seen basketball for at least the last 10 years. Just one Sunday. No defense. I mean, against the quarterback, and I talk shit about that all the time. But yeah, I mean, to say that the NFL is soft compared to the NBA, like, I mean, one of the sports you have to wear full pads, the other one, your goat, like anytime a guy touches them, tell me in the NFL where a guy can flop and get a penalty. He gets a penalty because he gets hit, or they get a penalty because they get hit. So it's not the 90s, just like it's not the 90s for basketball. Exact same argument. Can't use the same argument like that proves you wrong in one in the other one, and then proves you wrong again in the other one. And then all the transition from college to pros, you forget a lot of college players. Well, I mean, that's the thing with football and basketball. Like, I mean, basketball, I don't know how many players are on a college team. I think like 15, right? Like maybe 18. I don't know. I think on the NBA roster, there's like 15 and only even 12 suit for the game. And you got like a couple inactive players. But like football, I mean, shit, how many players are on a college fucking football team? Like 90 something, I think sometimes now, right? Like, I think they might have lowered it to like some number, but like that's, yeah, like I said, the rookies, NFL rookies are all hype. Exactly. They're all fucking hype. I've been saying it. It's not just Bronny that I call all hype. That's just the guy that I'm calling all hype today. Tell him, Tino. I talked shit about so many rookies. I've talked shit about more NFL rookies this year than NBA rookies. Hands down. I talk shit about a lot of them, because a lot of them are straight bums. And football versus football. Yeah, football was tougher in the 90s than it is now. That's why Joe Montana is the GOAT, because he actually had to play during a time when you could get killed. And that's why I say that Montana is the GOAT over Brady, for the exact same reason that I say MJ is the GOAT over LeBron. Exact same. I stay consistent. Johnny said, guys, this has been so much better than the stupid old man election debate. Bro, what was up with Donald Trump saying, look at what's going on? There are these white people taking all these black and Hispanic jobs out there. And certain people, and the white people, yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? And Tino said, to be fair, you can't get killed because of Brady. Yeah, exactly. And like, that's one of the arguments what I always used against Brady, is that they had to literally change the rules for him so he didn't die out there. Had they not changed those rules, no way he would have lasted this long, because he would have been taking way bigger hits his entire career. And you're not lasting 20 years when you're getting the shit beat out of you in your mid-30s. Like, you're just not lasting like that. And what Chris say, would you say the same thing about the 90s football versus 90s basketball, but you watch, is my point. Yeah. And I don't watch today's, because I mean, NFL, there's still defense. Have you not seen some of my one of my videos? Look at this. We're not leaving, so don't go. Hold on. Where is it? Don't leave, guys. Don't leave. There's only 30 seconds.
Defense on me.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure
they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Here comes the, 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 here comes the. Y'all don't really want it now.
All of those hits came within the last decade. Okay, maybe a couple like over 10 years, but all of those hits. How many hits like that? Except the Waterboy one, because that one was obviously fake. How many hits like that have happened in basketball? Like, I literally have a brand that's built around the defense of NFL, our IDP Life brand, our individual defensive player brand. That's like literally why a lot of people are here, because I cover defense in the NFL, defensive players. And Tino said they're slowly removing the defense from the NFL. They are. And you still have guys making hits out there every single play. It's a different type of defense. And Aquarium said, wow, he said that movie, damn right. I got a good part, right? That really tugs at your heartstrings. You would be out of basketball. It's called the foul. Yeah, I know, because it's soft. That's why I like football and not basketball anymore. Like, that's why I watch. Yeah. And guess what? The NBA has gotten way more soft over time than the NFL. 1,000,000%. Because you can't even breathe on a guy without getting kicked out and being a flagrant and yada, 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 yada. You know what happens when you commit when you commit a hard foul, when you commit a super hard foul in the NFL? 15 yards and you might get a fine. Maybe you'll miss a game if you're a repeat offender. And guys like Draymond are like one. And Tino said, have you watched the NBA after COVID? Huss, I'm telling you, when KD went to the Warriors, I stopped watching basketball on a normal basis. I do not watch basketball on a normal basis at all. Yeah, Chris said you just can't. Yeah, I said you can't breathe on Brady. Yeah, unlike basketball, where there's just one guy who, maybe there's one guy who maybe gets a little bit, who get a little bit of action, as far as like the defense goes. Like there's guys, running backs are getting hit, wide receivers are getting hit, all types of things are happening. Yeah. That's why a guy like Mahomes is going to beat out Brady and be the GOAT in everyone's eyes one day, because he's going to pass all of his records, because the NFL is so soft, and it's been so soft for 100% of his career. Let's see. What can Aquarium say? He said, what's the easiest way to learn football? Playing it, watching it, learning it. I'm truly an amateur. I mean, watching it, especially if you hang around this channel, you'll be able to watch it with us. Like during the season, I'm going to have it where we're literally going to be watching NFL Sunday Ticket, like talking about things. And Chris said, yeah, you like it. And I make money off it too. If I was making money off of basketball, probably wouldn't hate on it so much, but it's whack. And that's not fun to watch. But yeah, playing Madden, I mean, that's for someone who knows nothing about football or truly an amateur. I would say even playing Madden will give you like a little bit of inkling of like what's going on, and a little bit of inkling with the way that the offense and the defenses work, because you're going to have different playbooks in there for offense and defense, and you're going to know different formations, because like literally you're going to have to toggle between formations before you choose your play. So yeah, I would say watching it. And I would say, because yeah, playing it, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, that's the way you, but you know, if you're an adult, there's not really a way that you could play organized football. You know, I mean, I mean, that there are flag football divisions, and if you play in a flag football league, that'll definitely help you. But as an adult, you're kind of expected to know stuff. Like people aren't just out there teaching you. That's the thing there. People aren't there teaching you. Johnny said Biff actually got the almanac. That movie was a documentary. It was a documentary. It's a perfect one. And Chris said, but you still like it. Yeah, because it's not as soft as the NBA. Yeah. Like you're talking shit about the NFL and you play fantasy football. Like I don't play fantasy basketball. I'm not involved in any way in any facet of basketball other than talking about popular things that are going on in the media. That's it. And I do that for every sport, because I'll talk. What was we were talking? I mean, we weren't talking much. We were talking about football. I don't fucking watch soccer like at all. Tino said, I would say the patented defense is better today than the 90s, but the 90s had better D on point. He said, but the 90s, yeah, you could literally murder someone. He said, now you have to have an actual position and use speed. Yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. As a whole, the NBA players are way more talented now than they were back then. None of them are better than Jordan, but it doesn't mean as a whole that they aren't better. Like, yeah, they're for sure better. Antonio in the house. What up? Long time no see, bro. Said LeBron's the GOAT. Not. Yeah, perimeter defense. I mean, it's a lot of ISO, right? It's a lot of one-on-ones, like now for sure. I don't even know. Do any teams even run a 3-2 or a 2-3? I mean, maybe at like little spurts, like here and there, but it's like everything's like man on man, because you have to be good to a certain extent now, because everything's so much ISO. But yeah, even with a better caliber of player, you're having worse viewership, and it's just not as good of a product. It's just not as good of a product. A lot of zone and ISO. Yeah, for sure. A lot of zone and man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody even running a 2-3 or 3-2. Like, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what zone you're running, because you could be talking about a 2-3 or 3-2. And yeah, Conquariums, I'll definitely tune in. Yeah, a lot of football talk. Like normally, I mean, come end of July, I mean, we're going to be talking about all the different football news going on in the preseason. We're going to be covering some games, you know, looking at some highlights from different things. The highlights don't mean much, but it's just fun to show them a little bit. And Chris is on Instagram right now. We're streaming on IG as well. So he's on yeah, we're streaming now on IG a lot of the times as well. But it sucks because I can't pull the comments up on the screen from IG because it's still the mobile software. It's fucking whack. He was on Facebook the other day, so I was able to like pull him up and you can see what he was saying. Woo! All right. We are getting real close to in the WWF themed league. Let me see. All right. Since I was listening to KG talking, he said it was the triangle offensive variation. Yeah, for sure it was. I mean, Steve Kerr, man, come on. He learned from Phil. Of course it was I mean, you don't have to bring it up. I already know that. Like, yeah, it was some version of the triangle offense. Obviously not exact. All right, let me see. I gotta go put this message in. Live for so long. Forgot about this one. We're doing the WWF draft. Or the WWF Royal Rumble for the draft order position. Uh-oh, Noble's in the house. Nope, don't be messing around with the phone. We're going to do a Royal Rumble later today.
Oh.
Crispy said, not sure if my IG is still there. Just that dude. What's up, fool? Who's just that dude? Where'd you come in from? What up, fool? Tino said LeBron didn't want to run the triangle offense in LA. He likes his double ball screens. Okay, just that dude. All right, Chris hopped over to YouTube so he could be here on make sure that people know that he's talking shit and I can pull it up on the screen. Yeah, fucking Instagram. I don't know why I can't pull those up on the screen because I would have been pulling up your comments the whole time. Yeah, he said pulled up on you. I'm ready. All right. Here we go. Let's smoke another bowl. What are we going to talk about now before we get out of here? Been rocking for 3 hours now. Been a crazy morning show. That is one thing. Either way, basketball gives a lot to argue about. And yeah, LeBron, a lot to argue about. Always. Tina said that's why he likes Reeves, even though he doesn't drive to the basket. He said it's like LeBron and Reddick is what I'm assuming. Reddick said like he said LeBron like saves the room. I'm in the paint for me. Tina said out of all the GOATs, who's the GOAT? You mean like out of all sports? Is that what you're talking about? Or what do you mean? Like my GOAT for each sport? John said, did we talk about IU, Clinton? Didn't forget. No, well, not today, but just more rumors about the Jaden Daniels, right? Like just that's it. All right, Tino. So if it's the GOAT of all goats, man, it probably has to be Otto Graham. You know, I think he had 8 football championships and then 1 basketball championship as well. No, just kidding. I mean, it's the GOAT of all goats, man. It's got to be Jordan, man. It's got to be Jordan, and it's the just the impactful time of my life too, like in the 90s. Like Jordan owned basketball and owned sports. Like I don't know, he just owned basketball and owned sports, made an international decision, like an international thing. Like, you know, if we're talking GOAT of goats of all sports, it's probably Stone Cold. Like, because like unlike Jordan, like his top was so like it was very short-lived, but just so fucking peak, and like took WWF to like leagues and, you know, leaps and bounds that it would never go to before that. All right, who the fuck is John Force? So he's got 16 championships. He also won 10 of those in a row. Who the fuck is John Force? Who the hell is that? Just that dude, Stone Cold over Hulk Hogan is wild. Man, Hulk Hogan's a bum. He's a bum. He's a racist bum. Come on, man. No, we're not fucking with him. Stone Cold over Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan couldn't even wrestle. Okay, he was a fucking bum. Like, he's known as like one of the biggest stars and one of the worst wrestlers. Like at the same time. No. Hulkamania, eat your vitamins and all of that. Get that pussy shit like out of here. Say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Like, no, come on, man. What am I, 3 years old? No, come on. We're going for Stone Cold. Noble's 7, and he knows that Stone Cold is the GOAT over Hulk. Don't give me that shit. Adema in the house. What up? What's going down? So sorry, Wrestling Impact. Hulk Hogan never took wrestling to the heights that fucking Stone Cold did. Stone Cold and Mike Tyson took wrestling to heights that the Hulkamaniacs wish that Hulk Hogan could have taken it to. Noble, tell him, who's the GOAT? Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan?
Stone Cold.
No, say it right in there.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hopefully that's not choppy. Hey, Derek in the house. Salute. Man, Derek, you missed a crazy 3-hour show, bro. Crazy 3-hour show. He said they're called Hulkamaniacs. The Hulkamaniacs are scrubs. They're scrubs. Johnny said, tell him, Noble. Oh, nice. Derek said, just got back from Six Flags with my little one. Nice. How was Six Flags? And what Six Flags is it called where you're at? Because the one in Southern California is Six Flags Magic Mountain. I always forget what the other ones are called around the country. Tina said, after Rock's recent appearance, top Stone Cold for me. Nope. Hell no. The Rock tried to bogart on what's it called? On Cody's success. Nope. That got shut down. No way. There was that both have iconic moments, but Stone Cold took WWE to the next level. Yeah. WWF was not international until Stone Cold took it there. And just that dude said NWO. NWO only lasted 80-something weeks and then fizzled out. Stone Cold was going for way longer than that. No. I said, all y'all can suck. Hey. That's DX, bro. That's DX. You want to rep WCW and NWO. That's all you. Tina said, I stopped watching when The Rock left. Me too. Six Flags Great Adventure. It was hot as hell there. Man, I feel it, bro. I literally walked around the block, and fucking man, it was already like 110 degrees like outside. Like fuck, just get hella sweaty just walking around like real quick. If the sun's on you, it's when the sun's on you, it's like it's so ridiculously hot.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Say it in the
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
And yeah, so old school wrestling was way more fire. If we're talking about Attitude Era, yes. If you're talking about before the Attitude Era, hell no. But yeah, I mean, that is old school at this point. I mean, that was dude. Man, Ultimate Warrior was cracked out, man. Ultimate Warrior was whack as fuck. Like, especially now. Like, I never liked him back then, and that's just me. I know there's a bunch of people who fucking got a hard on for him, but yeah, it's not the business. Not the business. Oh yeah, Devin said, "How about DX?" Yeah, to me, DX over the NWO like all day and twice on Sunday. Cactus Jack, yeah, but see, Cactus Jack's Attitude Era, you know. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go back. I know Johnny said something. Did I miss it? Where is it? Said, quote this morning saying he would like to play for the Niners this year, but from what he understands, there was a second half of the quote. But if I don't play, I'd like to play with JD. Okay. Yeah. More coming out about Jaden Daniels for sure. When Derek said, Kyle Shanahan, we have to protect Christian McCaffrey from himself. Yeah. They got to say that. It's the coach thing to say. Chad O'Shea said Jerry Jeudy made so much progress learning the offense. I hope so. A couple places I have them. JJ McCarthy definitely won't start in week 1. Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell said Jordan Addison's gotten stronger and more physical. Let's see it. Can you like DX and the NWO? You can like DX and the NWO because I do like both of them. But like if you put me at odds of like NWO or anybody like DX, any WWF, because I didn't watch. To me, back then, I didn't even watch WCW. I was like, all these guys are the old fallouts from WWF. To me, they were just the old guys who were fucking bums. Like, that's what I thought. Like, same shit I think about LeBron. The old guy's just a bum. And Tina said WCW run was sick. Yeah. But I told you, like, I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I didn't even get introduced to wrestling until the Montreal Screwjob. So I didn't watch until after, I mean, that was November of 97. And then I started watching for that first year. It was a little bit on and off. I would watch Raw here and there. But it was like really like 98. Once 98. When I was in like 9th grade, like when that started, like summer of then I started watching it like way more and like got way more religious about watching it. Said I liked WCW more. They had Latino wrestlers. Yeah. And seeing back then, like, I mean, I didn't know nothing about that. I just knew that WCW and WWF were out of war, and I wasn't fucking with it. But yeah, WCW had a bunch. Yep. Rey Mysterio somewhere hot right now. Yeah, I mean, I met Rey Mysterio and given him props and donated to his toy drive to be able to get autographs like from him. But yeah, at the time, I wasn't watching that shit. Like, fuck no. WCW was whack as fuck to me back then. I now have respect for more types of wrestling like back now and have gone back and watched, and I'll give people their due. But there's a reason why WWF succeeded and WCW failed. I mean, that's just anyone who's not honest about that. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And the nerve. So I like WCW because Goldberg looked like an off-brand Stone Cold and Batista like an off-brand Rock. That's hilarious. Yeah. Plus the behind scenes better in WCW. Initially, yeah, but not overall. Why did WCW fail? Because the NWO was like turning stale. Like they couldn't keep that storyline going. Everybody was like in WCW, or everybody was in the NWO, and then they like totally split like the NWO into 2 NWO factions. And I thought that would work. But no, the ratings just declined, man. Like WWF got way more popular. People started choosing up and they started watching WCW less. WCW was always spoiled by having the owner of WCW own TNT, you know, and they got to get their shit on there. They got like a prime time like spot right away without earning it. And they couldn't hold that. They couldn't hold the candle to WWF more than 87 weeks. And then after that, done dada. And yeah, and I think it's dumb shit's funny. He said WCW was hot, WWF was falling off. Okay, and who ended up winning? Where's WCW at? Oh yeah, WWF bought them for like a penny. Remember that part? I mean, we could defend the losing side of this, like, you know, like all day. Like it's funny to defend the side that like that ended up losing. They were good, but to say it was better than WWF, I mean, by whose standards? Because WWF actually succeeded. The viewership kept going up and up and up and up, and hasn't stopped. And WCW, they went up and up and up and up, and then down. I guess I messed with both. Yeah, I didn't mess with WCW back in the day. And yeah, now, like I said, I can have some respect like for certain things that happened. But yeah, if someone's saying WCW over WWF, like I'm just gonna defend the time. Tino said, when did the Attitude Era start? Attitude Era started, I would say, might have been the curtain call, like when that happened, because that's like the first time like they broke kayfabe, and I feel like the Attitude Era came when everything started being a little bit more real, and that kind of like was the start of like the realism. And then you know, and then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they take that over to WCW like right away. And fuck no, man. Hell no, the Attitude Era ended around 2002. Like that's when it ended. Started 96, I would say. Like you talk about Stone Cold, you know, in 96. And the reason Stone Cold even got put on, it was supposed to be Triple H who won that King of the Ring, but he did the curtain call with them and showed love to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash before they left, and they were all like united in the Garden. And yeah, and then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they took that over to WCW because that's where the realism started for them. Tina said, when did the WCW end? Let's go see. I feel like 2001 somewhere. Let's see. Last episode of WCW Nitro, March 26th, 2001. March 26th, 2001. And ECW ended in 2000. Yeah, Tina said, yeah, they were losing ratings when I was in middle school. Yeah, I mean, see, it was like 96, that's when it all started for them. And then it like 96 and 97, they kind of owned it. I mean, maybe even more than that. Yeah, maybe it was 95, 96, 97 for them. Not the Attitude Era, I wouldn't consider, but when NWO or when the Outsiders first came, because they weren't even NWO yet. They were just the Outsiders when they first came. I'd say that kicked it off for I kicked it off for the Attitude Era in WCW. Tino said, damn, so the big run for WCW was only 6 years, 87 weeks. So let's see, what is that? 87. How many weeks are in a year? 52. So 87 weeks did they have better ratings than the WCW. So, I mean, WCW, it was NWA before it was that, and that got bought out. So I mean, things just like change. But yeah, WCW like itself, like, was not even around like that long. Yeah, 86 weeks, like a year and a half. Yeah, it was a short run. Facts. Yeah. And what year did they beat WCW? Let me see. When was the 87 weeks? WCW beat WWF. Yeah, they have a Monday Night War Wikipedia page. Let's see if it says on here. Oh, well, you know what? I know when it ended. It ended the streak ended the night that Mankind won the championship. So that was January 4th, 1999. So WCW held it for 87 weeks until then. Yeah, the Monday Night Wars. I have a whole DVD for that, the Monday Night Wars. WWF was a whole conglomerate. Exactly. Like WWF was a wrestling company. WCW was like a wrestling show. Like they didn't like, I don't know, like it was a wrestling show. Like that's what they like treated it as. That's why it was super entertaining for a handful of times. But I don't know, they started losing some of the better wrestlers like over there. Like remember when Y2J like came to the WWF? Like that was huge. That was huge. Tina said it's like 97, 98. Yeah, like so somewhere in the middle of 97 until 90, until January 4th of 99. I mean, that's literally, I'm sure that, and that was Monday Night Raw. So I'm like that could have been the first show of maybe they had a Sunday Night Heat or whatever, but we're talking Raw versus Nitro. The other none of the other shows got ratings like those two ones did. Neither one of the other shows for the others. While everybody's here, before I get out of here, if you need a way to watch the pay-per-view tonight, I got a link for you. It's $40 a month, but you get every single pay-per-view in existence. While they're live, you get every single sports package. This is football, basketball, every single sports package, MLB, hockey. I know they have international sports as well. So $40 a month literally gets you everything. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat right now. Once you get signed up, I email you the instructions to set this up on your Fire Stick or your phone or your iPad. Yeah, you're gonna get a kick out of this. It's the best way that you can consume content on your TV, and you can be playing multiple things at once. You can have a split screen going with 2 to 4 things. And yeah, you guys definitely want to go get signed up, and I'll be your go-to guy. I'll be your account manager as well. So yeah, go get signed up and do it soon. Don't wait until 7 o'clock comes around and then you're like, oh shit, the fight's about to start. Let's get it. Do it now. Do it now. All right, we're gonna smoke one more bowl and then we're gonna get out of here. Peace out, Chris. We'll catch you later, bro. He said Eddie Guerrero hurt my heart. I knew it was over. Yeah. Yep. When those guys came over, it was a whole different ball game. He said, "Go Brownie." All right. Yep. Peace out, Derek. We'll catch you guys next time. Tonight, we'll be here for UFC 303. So make sure you guys are hanging around. I'm not going to go live until it's kicking off. We're not doing any prelims or anything tonight. I'm cheering for you, Brian. Just don't embarrass your dad. I mean, he's got to, there's a lot. All right, guys. We'll see you later tonight for UFC 303. Peace out.
Defense on me. I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Here comes the